Is that good enough?
Hot
like
diggity, hot damn.
I liked it.
Chuck, how much did you like it?
I liked it 75%.
I like the way you work it. No
Only
diggity.
75%.
Well, okay, 90. I liked it 90%.
Okay.
I did. Were we recording it?
Do you normally like?
Okay, good.
We were.
Do you normally like them 100%?
No, never.
Whoops.
What?
What?
What? I can't fully commit because then there's nowhere to go.
Oh, you can still give a five jocks to a movie.
They're all
and then give another movie 5 jocks.
Listen, they're all A+ intros.
I think he's doing it for your benefit. If he likes it 100%, then you have no room to improve. And
Right.
This is a carrot on a stick.
If I can achieve 100% again.
Uh-huh.
If I've achieved something 100%. I am not upset that you don't like this one 100%. I'm just upset that you don't like any of them 100%.
Okay. Well, I can't say for sure that I don't because there were some that are pretty good.
Some that made you die.
Yes. But when I die, see, the oxygen leaves my brain and then I forget it. So that's the problem I'm having.
That's not how brains work.
Yeah, it is. I'm a doctor.
Dr. Jerkface.
Yeah? You buy that?
Nope.
Oh. Would
Not
you believe?
for a single. I would believe you put a man on the moon.
Ah, good.
We are like 9 episodes behind on renaming them.
Oh, did I? Yeah. Well, I was busy.
That's fine. It's fine.
I'll do it when I get to my hotel room.
I'm just letting you know.
Okay. I'll have nothing to do after I take my pants off.
What about your jacket?
I don't want you touching our website and YouTubes when you have no pants
I'm going
on.
to touch our YouTubes while I'm.
You have
while
to
I'm
take
not
off
wearing
your pants and jacket.
Yeah.
You have to go to our tube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
Red tube.
Tubes are penises.
Oh, that's how that works. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Top chat, live chat. Da, 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 da.
I
Did you tweet?
did. I tweeted.
Nice.
There was a tweet.
I tweeted.
I liked it and retweeted.
I also
go-
liked it and retweeted
I
it.
have to go to TweetDick.
Ooh.
Can you mute us for a moment? Because I just remembered something that we need to talk about.
How he enters the room?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, just muse on that thing.
Yeah. I'm looking on it. Here we go.
Like, if we actually want to be friendly, then we can.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Figure out how he enters the room.
How does he enter the room?
I don't know.
We should talk about it.
Is Bill here? Is Bill here yet?
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
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 Bill. Nope, only one watching.
Did I get a notification?
I don't know.
I don't think I got a notification.
The
The fuck is up with you, YouTube?
YouTube says stream is healthy.
Yeah, okay, I did finally get a notification.
So healthy. People just tune in for Mackie and he's not here. They fucking fail.
Oh, I got a notification finally.
I'll check my email and see if I got one. Usually tells me, hey, did you know you're live streaming? Yep, there it is. Now live on your channel. Duh.
God, fucking dumpster fire of a website now, Twitter.
Yeah, I don't visit the website ever.
It's bad.
I'm just trying to see this thing you were talking about.
Participants. BMFcast.
Where?
Fine, we're gonna go to Twitch
Yeah.
or Justin.tv
Right.
or Mixer. Let's go to Mixer.
Ustream.
Yes. Where the fuck did Ustream go? Did they just shut down?
Ustream merged with Justin TV, and then they became Twitch, right?
No, Twitch and Ustream were around at the same time, right?
Yeah, but I think Twitch absorbed Ustream, and I think Ustream was a fork off of Justin TV. I
think
fucking know.
IBM bought it.
Oh, good. They're using it for their chess program.
Since 2016, it has been a subsidiary of IBM. On April 1, 2018, 2 years after its purchase, IBM changed its name, or Ustream changed its name to reflect its new ownership.
To what?
IBM Cloud Video.
IBM Cloud Video.
Yep. In 2016, IBM acquired it for $150 million.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, it's an actual thing you can put videos on. Maybe I should do this. So
What do you mean play videos on?
you could. It's a video hosting.
Okay. Well, it's probably not.
Oh, it's only $99 a month.
Oh, great. Does that, well,
It's a post shit?
Yeah. I think this is professional, like,
yeah. Professional cloud video hosting.
yeah, 30-day free trial.
Hey.
Ooh.
Allows you to
You
have
can-
up to 5 concurrent viewers.
Nice. Nice. See if you can do your Jackin' It stream.
I'm going to try it out on this. I'm going to sign up for the free trial and jack it.
Not available on Mac, though, so you gotta...
Right. Yeah, I forgot. God damn it. Fucking shit.
Do you want to take, like,
No, I'm not
my
going to.
Surface to
I'm not going to publicly jack
use
it this
for
weekend.
Jackin' It?
This weekend.
Yeah, not this weekend, except in the car.
Saving it all up for when it's not November.
Oh yeah. It's November.
1st of December. It's just like,
December 1.
Make it rain.
Dreaming of a white Christmas over here.
Time to make the donuts.
God damn it. No wonder nobody tunes in.
looks like you blew a seal.
It's ice cream. It's ice cream.
See, I always heard it was as a donut joke. Yeah, glazed donuts.
Yeah.
Oh, you got
right.
the second half Chiron down there, I think.
Yeah,
Got
you got the second half Chiron.
Oh,
down.
whoops,
Chiron.
whoops.
Lower third.
Sorry.
Whoops. Whoops a daisy.
I like saying
my
Chiron
my
now
bad. I
because
also
it
don't
makes me
have.
feel
I also
smart.
didn't fix the poster, so you're gonna see last week's poster here for a second.
Oh my-
You
Actually,
fucking
no,
idiot.
you're not, because
No, you're not.
you're not gonna see it until
Nah.
I turn it on. If you know what I'm saying.
Not gonna see it anymore.
Oh, you.
Man, we threw everybody off doing this on Tuesday, even though I told
Oh,
everybody.
it's
wait.
Tuesday.
It
That's
is.
right. It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's why nobody's here. I get it.
Well, if they rang the bell or they followed us on Twitter,
Yeah.
like they
BMFcast
should,
at BMFcast.
Yeah, that's definitely the poster.
Or get
right
on
there.
our mailing list where we will send you a postcard every week.
yes. But by the time you get it, the episode will have already
Been
gone
posted,
live.
yeah.
So, if you want to get it next week's podcast,
Wouldn't that be fucking
sign up
stupid
for
if
our
we sent out-
Telegram service.
Oh! This week we're talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
We got that joke.
Yeah.
We're with that.
We understand it.
We understand the lollipop kill.
I think the best subtle joke out of that is just how he's slowly losing. You're not slowly, drastically losing his hair more and more each
Yes.
week. and poster.
What is this reference?
That's
Mr.
a
Show.
Mr.
Oh,
Show
okay,
thing. He had it was a pre-taped live call-in show.
So
He's like, if you want to talk about this for next week, call in now.
but if you want to talk about what we're talking about this week, you needed to call in last
And
week.
it's funny because he's got like a full head of hair in the first episode. He's like, well, we didn't really get any callers, but I guess that's to be expected with our first episode. Anyway, hopefully it'll go better next time. And then everybody calls about last week's topic, and by the third episode, it's just completely bald.
Hey, Bill, go find 5 friends and tell them to get in here.
And tell them to bring 5 friends.
And so
then we've got an exciting business opportunity for you.
I love that, like Disney,
Disney.
a company with near unlimited funds and 1,000 animators. That's the fucking poster they came up with.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's how
awful.
that's a teaser poster.
Is it?
Yeah.
Which poster?
It says in theaters everywhere, so it's not even a teaser. It means like it's happening now.
Soon.
No.
Well, there's another one that's got actual
I know.
comic characters.
I
It's
know.
not as.
I picked the bad one on purpose.
Oh well, then shut the fuck up.
I mean, it's also that one's also pretty bad.
No, that's great.
You're pretty bad.
It's the league's leading laugh scorer.
Ugh.
He leads the league
I just
in
went there and I
laughter.
specifically picked that one because I was like, that's terrible.
It's like a poster you'd see in a subway. You know, when you go
When you
downtown.
get a sandwich.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's do this here podcast.
Ew, no, I don't want to podcast.
We should podcast so we can stop podcasting.
Right, fine.
Fine. Good.
Damn it, we have dropped 203 frames.
Oh no.
Why?
I don't know.
Well, what the hell?
All right, and welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey, BMFcast.
Episode 490.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're at the 490-yard line.
Yeah, we're playing several football stadiums over.
Yeah.
So I'm Harlow.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
Normally there's a pause there, but we're Maculus today.
We are.
Yeah.
But whether he's here or
Yeah.
not, you know what we do each and every episode of this here podcast?
I do, but you should tell the listeners at home.
All right. It's kind of a thing I do. We go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. Come in here and talk about it for the first half, and then they get ratings. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jockses and robot jocks.
Robot
Robot
jocks.
We like robot.
Football jocks.
Yeah.
Ah, see what you did there.
Yeah. That broke jock.
Not difficult.
But you know what? There are bad movies. So stay away. They get a negative size scale. 1 to 5 bags. This isn't giant bags of trash.
Football bags.
Sacks of trash.
Sacks.
Yeah.
Sack them up but kiss their ass goodbye.
Yep. We watched a football movie, if you couldn't tell. We watched 1976's Gus,
Gus.
about a field goal kicking mule
Yeah.
from the Walt Disney Company.
Hooray. There's a reason we did this.
Yeah. We're testing. Disney Plus is now officially here. It's a thing, and
Yep.
we were like, we should watch a movie off of that.
They got 500 movies. Maybe we should watch one.
Yeah, there's probably something that'll be bad enough for us to watch.
Uh-huh.
So we picked Gus.
Yeah.
Would you like a plot summary for Gus?
I
Yes,
would.
please,
It's an
God.
equally badly written.
Oh, you're going to read the bad one?
You wanted me to read the bad one, so I'm going to read the bad one.
I
Yes.
can't wait.
The California Atoms are in last place with no hope of moving up. But by switching the mule from team mascot to team member, parentheses, he can kick 100-yard field goals, in parentheses, they start winning and move up their rankings. Hurrah!
Hurrah!
The competition isn't happy.
Oh, no.
Isn't so happy, actually.
Oh, okay.
I misquoted it.
Oh,
Sorry.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
it's
people in this.
It's a football mule.
Dun, dun, dun,
It's a
dun,
football
dun,
mule.
Yeah,
dun,
that's how you
dun,
get
dun.
your footballs across state lines and
Right.
country lines and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just put some footballs up your butt.
Gonna need to stick it real far up your butt.
I don't think so. You want to know who's in this
I
film?
would. I know,
yeah.
but
Ooh.
they probably want to know.
Yeah. Okay.
There's that thing.
So it stars Ed Asner,
Uh-huh.
who you might remember from Food Fight.
Definitely where I
No,
remember
no
Ed
one
Asner.
does.
Yeah.
I legit laughed out loud when I scrolled through Ed Asner's. I was like, we've never seen an Ed Asner. Oh, no. Food fight. Yeah. Also, Tim Conway.
Yep.
He was in Super Buddies,
Yes.
Treasure Buddies, Spooky Buddies, and Santa Buddies.
Can I pause you real quick?
Sure.
The Buddies movies are on Disney Plus.
Not really. They're placeholders.
Are they?
Yeah, because they're still elsewhere. One of them's not coming to like November 2021.
I saw them in the list.
Oh yeah, they're there.
You just can't click
You
on
just-
them?
No,
Yeah,
you,
motherfucker.
there are certain titles that if you click on, they will tell you when they're going to be
Oh
available.
my god.
Yeah,
Well,
it's-
they will be on Disney
yes,
Plus.
they're
so-
coming, but right now they're elsewhere.
Fuck.
Buddies are coming.
Dick Van Patten
Dick Van Patten.
from Demolition High.
Ah,
Yes, Demolition High's Dick Van Patten.
see, hi, Dick
Yep.
Van Patten.
Dick Butkus.
Dick Butkus.
Pair of dicks for this one.
Paradixical.
He was in Hamburger, the motion picture. That's right.
Only the best for Dick Butkus. Richard Butkus. Richard Rear End Smooch.
Tom Bosley, also of Santa Buddies. His most famous role.
Mm-hmm.
And Richard Keel, who plays the tall guy.
Yeah, in a real long scene that he's in.
Real tall scene.
Ah.
He was in Think Big.
Oh,
No doubt about it. He was also in Moonraker, which is awesome. I just want to I just
not
want
a
to
BMFcast
editorialize.
movie, but
Edit. Whatever.
Moonraker sucks.
Moonraker's awesome. Space.
Yeah,
the song is really good.
Space.
So yeah, there you go. All the hot stars of Gus.
Uh-huh. Wait, so Don Knotts not...
Never had a Don Knotts movie.
Oh, well, now we have.
This is our first Don Knotts.
Welcome to the podcast, Don Knotts.
Yeah.
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 So Gus
Gus.
is a mule
Yeah.
that lives in Yugoslavia, and he has
The
a
Mule Yugoslavia.
Yes, he has. He's owned by a family. The parents. The dad is a real shithead and disapproving of his younger of two sons. His older son plays soccer or football
Right.
in Europe.
Yes.
And he's apparently hot shit. Doesn't really showcase that. It's just like he kicks a ball into a goal with a really shitty goalie, and everyone's like, "Yay!"
He's the best Yugoslavia has to offer.
Right. And
No, he's the best in Europe, according to
Yes.
the
Okay.
dad.
You're right.
yeah. And then Andy, his younger brother, who dad is like, "Why can't you be your brother?"
Yep.
The wrong kid died.
They try to kill Andy twice.
Yeah. Yeah. The first time is that's all right. So if you're playing by actual laws of physics and not Disney live action movie laws of physics, they're sitting at the very back of a stadium.
Yep.
Which shows it's not, we're not talking about a high school visitor team side stadium. This is a proper soccer stadium. And they're sitting in the very back row at the very top of the bleachers. And Andy gets knocked over the back.
Yeah.
Andy is dead. The
He
rest
is.
of this is
This was like his Jacob's Ladder. Like he was
Yeah.
I dream of one
Slowly
day.
dying.
yeah. The rest of it is like a coma. dream.
Spoilers if you never saw Jacob's Ladder from like
Whoops.
30 years ago.
Well, I've never seen it. So.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah. So and then he goes home and he's trying to get good at soccer so he can impress his dad, and ends up falling
He's
into.
trying to impress the mule. Let's be clear. I mean,
he's like, hey, Gus,
eventually
check this out.
his goal is to impress his dad, but at this very point, he's trying to impress the mule. He's like, "Hey, look at this!"
Yeah.
Bouncing a soccer ball off his head.
Yep.
Yeah, and trips backwards into a well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so within the
well.
first 2 minutes, Andy has died twice.
Yep.
But they fish Andy out of the well.
So
And,
we're at 2 Inception layers.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's very dead.
I'm going to keep a counter going for Inception layers because I
Okay.
think we have more.
Okay.
You might be right.
But yeah, somewhere in the midst of this, disapproving dad says something, and Andy's like, "Oh," and kind of like kicks the ball sadly away.
Well, he says, I don't want to ever see a soccer ball again.
yeah.
And that's when Gus kicks a soccer ball out of the universe.
And he's like, "Wow, that was crazy. Can you do it again?" And sets him up with another soccer ball behind his hind legs, and Gus kicks it the same. Like there's even like 2 trees like
Yeah.
far away, and like field goal posts, and he kicks it between them, and he's like, "Wow, Gus, that's great." And
Except in Yugoslavia.
yeah,
it just cuts to Ed Asner.
yeah. Ed Asner owns this football team now. Granted, I want you to understand that, like, for whatever reason, they're doing a bad news bears or bad news mules thing here, but
Bad news mayors.
yeah, but it's an NFL team,
It is, yeah.
which makes no sense.
Yep.
Because history has shown us you can only suck as an NFL team for so long, because if you suck, you get top draft pick, and then you become better slowly.
Well, I would like to introduce you to the
Cleveland
Oakland
Browns?
Raiders
Or
and the
Oakland
Cleveland
Raiders.
Browns.
Yeah. I understand that, but I mean, this is a team that like can't do anything. Like there's,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we're spoiled by looking at the NFL through modern lens when like, really good players don't get drafted or picked and play in the NFL. They were fantastic in college and they never even get a shot.
This feels very quaint.
And this is like, oh, not a single person on this team has any concept of playing football, like at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
like they're all foreigners who just showed up one day and was just like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Because
So-
they show film of like, okay, here's our next player, and it's just like, how does the snap work?
Right.
I have a suspicion that I've forgotten his character's name now.
Dick Butkus.
No.
Oh.
Don
Hank
Knotts.
Cooper. Mr. Cooper.
Mr.
Hanging,
Cooper.
Hankin' with Mr. Cooper.
Uh-huh. Ed Asner.
I have a suspicion that Ed Asner is just the cheapest motherfucker on the planet
Oh, sure.
and is like
Possibly, sure.
hiring the worst guys and then blaming it on Don Knotts.
It
But I mean,
did
this is-
sound like he won the team in a bet
Right.
at some point.
Possibly, yeah.
I mean-
or he's just like a bad owner.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, this is why, even if you're going to make it like a professional sports team league and you're going to do a plot like this is why Major League works. Because it's like, we suck, but we're trying to suck so that we can get sold as a franchise thing. Like
Yeah.
that's part of the plot of like, hey, this is why we got all the worst players. This is like, we just happen to be an NFL team who fucking sucks.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so
Oh,
they're watching
well.
team and they're like,
The
watching
weird-
film and it's like, oh, well, we're awful.
The weird thing is that the NFL is signed on to this completely.
Oh, yeah.
Like this is
Mostly.
produced in like
It's
Like-
not. It's really not, because it's only within the last like 15 years to where the brands started to realize they can control their own image.
what do you mean? Like the NFL?
Well, there wasn't
or-
a-
Just everything.
There was a sign like, thanks for the cooperation of the
Sure,
National
Right.
Football
But I
League
mean,
in this,
like,
but-
it used to be you didn't have to get the necessary approval of like the Air Force if you just wanted to make a military
Oh,
movie. Or
yeah. Well,
like,
you don't. I mean, you don't now. They
Yeah.
just do because the Air Force will like
But like think about all
will
the fake
partner with things.
U.S. mails that you see, because you can't have the post office. For some reason, the post office is the most protected brand in
Oh,
the
yeah.
world. It's always some fake made up bullshit, But yeah, back then it was just like, yeah, whatever. Just give us
I
thanks in the
still think they
credits.
would have problems with them using like team logos.
Well,
But I mean, regardless, they're a made-up team, and the team that they face in the Super Bowl is
Right.
a made-up team. Otherwise, they're playing the Packers, the Chiefs, the 49ers, like
Right.
all these like known teams.
Yep.
But
So weird.
so they're going through like this film, and they're like, "Yeah, we suck," and Don Knotts is just like, well, "What are we gonna do?" You know.
Don Knotts is doing his Don Naziest. That came
It's
out
it's
wrong.
it's so weird because like he's not right for this part, because I mean
Yeah.
this is not why you hired Don Knotts, and it's especially weird to me because he'd been working with Disney for a while at this
Oh, yeah.
point. Yeah, like I mean Apple Dumpling Gang, all those things like Mr. Limpet, like those were like years before this. I think.
Him and Tim Conway must have just lived on the Disney lot,
Right.
Because they are in fucking everything.
I'm just saying like he has like nothing to do in this movie. He is
No.
the coach, and it's like he has almost no comedic things. He's just doing his Don Knotts like and pull up the sleeves, and he's basically just doing the Mayberry bullshit.
He just
Yeah.
harumphs a lot
Yeah.
and acts like, "Oh, why did you say that to me?" Meh. It's like
Did he just have a 97 picture deal
Probably.
with Disney, and
Yeah.
they're like,
Put him in
Don,
there. Yeah.
come here.
Yeah, you're the coach in this one.
Yeah.
Anyway, but so they're just like, I don't know, what are we gonna do? Whatever. And so it like nothing really comes of that, except that like you learn that Ed Asner has an assistant of some sort. I don't know what her function in the
She's
job
a
is.
lady.
She's a lady, so she's a secretary because
she's
it's
the only
70s,
lady in
you
the
know.
film.
Right. So she's his assistant of some sort, and
She was reading in the Yugoslavian paper that she subscribes to because her parents were Yugoslavian.
Right, and she's like, "Look at this crazy mule. He kicks balls." And then Asner's like, "Whatever, I don't care." And she's kind of quasi dating Dick Butkus.
Yes.
like it's
She absolutely
Well,
was.
I'm saying
Well-
it seems like they're just starting.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
it's-
not going steady.
Yeah,
He believes that she is his girl.
He wants them to go steady.
Yes.
so that's
wants to
the
pin
only
her.
things you really learn from here. Then it's like, okay, let's start the actual like we're putting the team together. We're on a field, and it's like the day before players show up, so they're just like all the coaches are there, and they're like trying out the marching band, and they have, as
they're trying to come up with something to do at halftime to get people to show up because the football ain't going to do it.
Well, yes, I mean that's where they get eventually, because it's like they have weirdly old cheerleaders.
Yeah.
I mean, for an NFL team, I mean they're not like old ladies. I'm just saying, like,
they're not MILFs, but they're moms.
Yeah.
That is an excellent way to put it, Chuck.
All right. Yeah.
10 points to you. Well done.
Yeah. I've said, yeah. So they comment of like, well, we've got these ancient cheerleaders nobody wants to see, so we ain't got anything going there. Then they bring out the marching band, which think about having a marching band for the NFL team nowadays.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. But
It
they
is.
bring them out, and then Esther's like, wow, they're much better than they were last year, until like someone trips into the fucking record player,
And all of them trip all over
Well,
each other.
that's actually what happens. Is like the heavy set cheerleader is like doing flips across the field because it's like, hey, look, she can still do this.
Look what I can do.
And she flips like into the marching band, and they all fall over, and they're still playing, and then someone trips into the record player, and it's
Right.
like, haha, they weren't playing at all.
Yep.
So Ed Asner's like, damn it, we don't have anything. And it's like, what about that mule?
Get us that mule.
Yeah, it's just a whole series of scenes of like, why not the mule? That'd be a great halftime show. And he's like, fine, go to Yugoslavia and hire the fucking mule.
Mm-hmm.
So they come over, and
Mule arrives.
Yeah, mule arrives.
And along with Andy.
Yes, Andy comes along because he's his handler.
Yes.
And
and dealer.
and yeah, I mean it's just a series of like dumb chicanery for a little while, because it's just like, all right, Andy, you go live on this farm that Ed Asner owns, and what's her face? What's her name? Debbie?
Yeah.
Debbie.
Debbie.
Debbie's like, Ed Asner's like, Debbie, go with him and make sure he's all settled.
Keep
and
an eye
everything.
on him.
And Dick Beckus is like, bruh, who's this? Bruh, who's
Yeah.
Just immediately like in a rage of jealousy.
You're
which-
my girl.
Which is somewhat justified later. I mean, if they were actually a thing, she immediately is just like, fuck you, Dick Beckus. And
it's weird. She like never acknowledges Dick Buckus ever again.
Right.
And he's just throughout the entire season is just like, hey, girl.
Yeah. But at first it's just like, well, yeah, I'm going to go welcome this Yugoslavian guy to America and take
Yeah.
him to the farm,
Right.
And yeah, so skip to first game.
Mm-hmm.
They bring them out at halftime. First, Andy gets nervous because he's never been in front of a crowd before, and
Right.
and
He runs away.
yeah,
And Gus pushes him back out onto the field.
it should also be noted. I think there was something before this where this mule is smart. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's doing things beyond just kicking field goals. Like, had it already broken up the date, or was that after the first game? Because like there was one point where I think it was after the first game.
game.
Yeah.
So first we see him like drag Andy back on the field. It's like, okay.
Well, I mean, the first smart thing it did was he said, I don't want to see any more soccer balls.
Right.
And
And
Gus
kicked
was
the
like,
soccer ball.
fuck
like,
this soccer ball.
yeah, sure.
I'll
Okay.
make you happy, Andy.
Fine. Yes. So,
But it's
all
not
he's
okay.
Well, actually, is he smart, or is he just trying to make Andy?
no.
He's smart by trying to make Andy happy. Yeah.
But here's the thing.
That's where he excels.
Gus is not an obnoxiously smart movie animal. It's not like doing over the top shenanigans. It's doing just enough to let you know this is a personified animal.
It's the Air Bud principle.
Kind of, yes. Yeah, basically. Like, it will stop and kind of laugh at a thing that it has caused, but it's not like, it's not driving a car. It's not, it's
Not Toonsis the driving mule.
yeah, it's not going ridiculously overboard with its how smart this thing is, but
It's not
Gus-
Mr. Ed,
Yeah,
but
Gus drags Andy back out and is like,
I mean, it still can't kick unless it hears Andy say the word,
no, it can, because it did it the first time to kick the ball into
but it never
orbit.
does it again. And Andy's like, I have to say the word.
Yeah, true.
yeah,
Because
but-
it's trying to please Andy. That's all it cares about.
Yeah.
Making Andy happy. It's a good mule.
yeah, it's his
That
Woody.
is in love with
It's his Woody.
Yes.
Trying to make Andy happy.
Right.
Yeah. It's whatever Andy wants.
If you look on his hoof, Andy scratched his name. In it.
Oh, poor Gus.
This movie ripped off.
Toy Story ripped off this movie. I think
That
that's
too.
what you mean. Yeah.
Maybe.
Anyway, but yes, we see it happen one time, and everyone's like,
snake in my book.
"Hooray!" The mule did it, and it's
Yay!
like instant overnight success. Like,
They
hey,
did it 3 times at halftime, but they only showed it.
yeah, they only showed it once.
What a ripoff!
Which also, by the way, the cheerleaders have made like. When you say human pyramid, it's not supposed to be like everyone standing all the way up.
yeah.
It's like as tall as the goalposts.
Yeah.
if you've ever seen one of those like skiing videos from the '60s where there's like 75 people in a pyramid,
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing they're doing.
Yeah, but like the
They went out there because Andy ran off,
Right.
and Gus had to go
And
chase him.
they were just like, I don't know, pyramid, okay. And so of course, because comedy, the heavyset girl is the one on top.
Right,
Lady,
bad choice.
Lady, I'm not going to say lady because she's definitely not a girl, but she's on top, and like when he kicks it, she catches it because it's going right through the goalpost, and she's like, ha, and and of course it causes them to fall down.
They all fall down.
Which happens multiple times throughout this movie.
Yeah, I'm surprised they never applied a bowling sound effect to this when it happens, because it
Yeah.
happens.
There's several things where you actually expect cartoon sound effects because of the way it's played.
But they don't skimp, because every time Gus kicks the ball, it's woo 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 woo.
That's true. It does have that cartoon effect.
Boy, yo, yo, yo.
But anyway, so like it's a big success. Hey, football team lost, but good job on the halftime show.
Yeah,
So
people
Kate-
love that Gus.
I believe it's now where we see just how smart Gus is, because like I said, they've painted this Dick Butkus, Andy, Debbie love triangle, and so like they're supposed to go on a date, Dick Butkus and Debbie, and like because Andy's like, hey, I feel great. What are you doing tonight? You go to me with dinner. He doesn't actually talk that.
Go to me with
You go to me with dinner.
It's kind
He's
of that
bulky.
bad.
You go to me
Oh,
dinner
cousin.
with me. Yes.
This guy was
Let's go
born in
bowling.
like Santa Monica, and he's got this
Yes.
terrible quote unquote accent.
But she's like, well, I'm sorry, I have plans with Dick Butkus, whatever his name is. I don't give a
Yeah,
shit what
Dick
his name
Butkus is
I
his
don't-
name. Just say
yeah.
Dick Butkus like 50
I-
more times
I-
on this podcast.
I do want to,
So
actually.
that we can reach the Dick Butkus quotient. And we can change our names to the Dick Butkus Fiends.
The Dick Buttcast.
I don't think we can call ourselves the Dick Buttcast.
Yes, we
I don't think we can.
Yeah. Our
Well,
logo
we have
was
to
just see the
separate
Dick
ourselves from the Dick Buttcast.
Butt. Yeah.
And just be the Dick Buttcast.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's all pretty much right there.
This
It writes
is the
itself.
best movie just because of the joy.
It does all this. So anyway, she's like, Andy's like, would you go to dinner with me? And she's like, no, I got plans with Dick Butkus. And then that's like right on cue, Gus is like, oh, and just faints, like lays down and faints. And they're like, oh no, Gus is sick. Oh well, I got to cancel with you, Dick Butkus. I got to stay here and make sure Gus is
Right,
healthy.
yeah.
So
He's our meal ticket,
Yeah.
literally.
a meal ticket.
Ha.
Mule ticket.
Ha.
Yeah, I like it.
Anyway, so they instantly fall in love at this point. Like, cause like I said, from this point forward, she never talks, looks, or acknowledges Dick Butkus
Nope.
ever again.
Nope.
Like he is just there, and she never says or even looks at him ever again.
Yeah.
Because they go to the drive-in theater, which they find out, or Dick Butkus calls like the farm where they're staying, and she's like, oh, I don't know, she's in town at the drive-in
She
movie.
went to the drive-in with Andy.
So this is where we get our Richard Keel cameo, because Dick Butkus storms into some drive-in theater and finds a Volkswagen, which again,
Herbie.
what?
In a cameo.
I guess it's supposed to be her car, but we've never seen her car.
You saw it in the background.
Okay.
I did, because I was like, hey, there's a Herbie back there.
Sure.
Product placement.
Right. But he just like, oh, it's Debbie's car, goes over there and like rips open the sunroof, and it's not Debbie at all. It's Richard Keel and
Yep.
some lady, and Richard Keel like
Kill and some lady.
I don't know. We didn't really see her, but
I know.
Richard Keel stands up, and he's already tall, but he's even taller when he's standing inside of a Volkswagen. So
Right.
he's just towering over Dick Butkus, and he's just like, oh no, I've made a terrible mistake.
Yeah.
Eee.
And that's it for Richard Keel.
Yeah, that's never see him again.
He got credit. I don't know how.
Yep.
He didn't say anything.
They credit everybody because
That's true.
Yeah.
This is the front.
Literally
credits.
everyone
Holy
in,
God,
the,
the
in the
credits.
movie was in the credits.
Anyway, so like that's happened.
Yeah.
Next game, next proper game. They
The kicker tries to kick and instead kicks his shoe through the goalposts.
Yep.
And Ed Asner is just like, man, fuck everything.
Mm-hmm.
The mule's going in.
Yeah, because like they got a touchback, and so they got the ball on the 20-yard line. So it's like on the 5, and they're just
Yeah.
like, send the mule in.
Yep.
And they're
And
like, we can't do this. And
There's a
it's-
bunch of hand wringing of just like, well, you can't, mules can't play football.
and of course the scene happens where we go up to the booth.
BJ called this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh,
Well,
yeah, of
it's,
course.
it's Johnny Unitas, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Johnny
Johnny
Unitas and Bob Crane.
Yeah.
Right.
R.I.P. shortly thereafter for nefarious reasons. Bob Crane.
Wait, nefarious reasons?
Oh,
Tell
yeah.
me some Bob Crane dirt.
Oh, the movie Autofocus with Greg Kinnear? That's about Bob Crane
I
and his
have-
weird
I don't-
taping of sex things that ended up getting him murdered. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bob Crane is a sex pest.
Is he a sex pest or is he just like a
Okay.
creep?
A creep.
Like
he
like
had
an illegal creep.
He had a lot of consensual sex that he recorded on early 70s home movie equipment.
Did he record it non-consensually?
No,
Okay.
maybe.
All right.
Hard to tell because
So
he was
it's
shortly
just-
killed. He was killed shortly thereafter.
Okay. That's weird. I didn't know that about Bob Crane.
Yeah. You should watch the movie Autofocus. It'll put some of these Disney movies into some strange perspective for you. But yeah.
When was Autofocus released?
Mid 2000s?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Greg Kinnear. Autofocus.
I think it was before that.
Mid
I mean,
2000s.
doesn't
Well,
matter.
I think we've lost our focus here.
Yeah,
So
anyway.
back to
Yes.
the action, Bob.
So
Hey.
there's some talk in the theater or in the booth, and like Johnny Unitas is like gets the paper handed to him. It's like, well, Article 5, Section 1 of the NFL Code says that like a player is defined, and like the thing is like this should, if this is actually, I'm sure it's not an actual article of the NFL because it's a fucking Disney movie, but if this is a real thing, I feel like all of our discussion over the years is like been for naught because he very clearly is like, a player is just defined as somebody who puts on a uniform. It could be male, female, doesn't matter. Like, mule, I guess.
It says 11 team members.
Yeah, 11 team members, and a team member is defined as somebody that puts on the uniform to play the game. And
Yeah.
it's like, so I feel like if that was actually a rule, like we could have had lady football player in the NFL years ago. But I'm sure it's not.
Is there anything that prevents ladies from playing in the NFL? I don't think so.
We just got a lady referee, so
I feel like there was some
She's cute.
talk of somebody that was going like a
there was a kicker.
Kathy Ireland was
Yeah.
in the.
She was in Necessary Roughness.
Yeah, she played football.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she did.
with Scott
and that's a
Bakula.
true story.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Rob Schneider.
Yeah.
And Sinbad. He was a genie.
Yeah.
Anyway. But yes,
Broken my fucking brain here.
anyone can play football, including mules.
Right. So there's
Ladies
like,
can do things.
I'll allow
and
it.
So can
and
mules.
so, Mule comes in and obviously he kicks the field goals
Yeah.
and makes them start winning.
Yeah.
Now-
I want to say this about the footballing because
Uh-huh.
the rest of the movie barely
doesn't make sense.
is about football. But so this is a team that never gets any better.
Mm-hmm.
No one on the team ever learns how to play football.
Right.
Well,
None of it.
they did say their defense is okay.
Well, obviously because they keep getting the ball back long enough for him to kick a 100-yard field goal. But this is not a bad news bears thing of this team is going to improve.
No.
It is just we've got a mule that kicks 100-yard field goals, so it doesn't matter how bad we suck, they can always kick a field goal.
Always.
And because the movie then doesn't exactly treat football by the rules, they just kick field goals all the time.
Right.
Well, you can kick a field goal whenever you want.
You
If
can.
you have the ball,
If you have the ball.
Right. But I mean, like the logic part of this is that do they go to the fourth down or do they like rely on getting touchbacks? Because I mean, the way they've shown this team, if you were to do an onside kick, they just go "Whoa!" and you get the ball back every fucking time, and they'd never have possession.
Right. So what I assume happens, even though we're unfortunately not shown, I assume that the defense gets like. So every time the offense touches the ball, they're guaranteed 3 points.
Yes.
Right. I assume that the defense is just good enough to stop them occasionally, and they
That's
They
the
get a
one
punt.
thing easily should have done. It's just said we have a great defense. It's just our offense sucks, and then your brain goes, okay, this makes sense.
well they did say in the beginning their defense is pretty good.
Don Knotts said that,
Don
and
Knotts
then
says, "Well, our defense is pretty good."
and then they proceeded to show how terrible they fucking were.
Well, they're stupid, but they can hit people. Maybe they just figured out how to hit the right people. The real story is that defense wins championships.
I know. But
That's so. I just assume that the defense is just good enough that they can stop the opposing offenses just enough.
Right.
We just have to make that little concession
Sure.
for the sake of the story
Yes.
uh-huh.
and for the sake of my Don Knotts impersonation.
Good. So here's what happens in the midsection of the movie. Dude
The
shows
guts.
up. Another guy shows up. I don't know if he's another owner or if he just wants to. He's a businessman.
Doesn't make any sense. It
He's
just
a
He's a
business
poker player. Like,
yeah. He's Ed Asner's buddy. And he's like, boy, you guys sure are winning. And Ed Asner's like, yeah, we sure are. And then Ed Asner's like, hey, you want to make a bet?
I believe it's after the first win,
Yeah.
or
It-
maybe they've
it
won
is
two.
right away. He's super confident.
Yeah.
Like right, he's like, we got this.
Yeah.
And he makes a bet with this guy. He's like, okay, here's what's going to happen. Bet me that we will win 7 games. And I don't know what Ed Asner
Oh wait,
gets if he
no.
wins.
Actually, it's after their first loss. They haven't won one because the whole thing was that this guy didn't know about Gus. Like Gus was the halftime show, and this guy made the bet because Ed when it happens, Ed Asner's like, "Oh yeah, I didn't, because this guy gets angry. He's like, "You didn't tell me you had a Gus
Oh,
that could
yeah.
kick field goals," and he's
Okay.
like, "Well, yeah,"
Yeah.
because they had one inning, and he's just like, I
Oh,
tell
that's
you,
right, okay.
because like the bet was like they lost their first one. He's like, I'll make this bet. Like, Ed Asner's like, I'm losing the team. I can't financially support it anymore because we don't have enough fans.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if I win 6 games in the season, then you'll pay.
You pay my price.
You'll pay my you'll give me the money that I need to keep running the team.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like I'll
get the team for your
I'll
price.
I'll sell it to you for whatever I guess previous offer that he had made on taking the team.
Yeah.
So Gus had never even been a factor because
Okay.
like this guy was just like, you're fucking crazy, and he's
Yeah.
like, well, and then for some reason like.
Well, he turns it around. He's like, all right, hang on.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't make any sense for this guy to do this because like they apparently haven't won a game and I don't know how many or even scored a point in how many games.
It's like 3 years.
Yeah,
They're
and
bookies.
Okay,
Yeah,
Are
that's
they?
what they are. Yeah, they're bookies.
sure. All right, we'll go with that. But this guy's just
look
like,
it up.
that's not good enough. Like I obviously you can't even do the impossible feat of win 6 games.
Yeah.
Or he's like, we'll win half the rest of our season. So how many
7 games.
Yeah.
is what he says.
Okay.
And then this
and
guy's like,
this guy's one's up. He's like, not only I'll take the bet if you go to the Super Bowl and win it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and Ed Asner's like, wait, what? No. All
except that-
right.
yeah.
I got no choice here.
He's super confident in his mule. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this guy, that's the midsection of this movie is that this guy's just like, you didn't tell me about the mule, and he's like, you didn't ask, suck it.
They start winning, and this guy's like, and then he hangs out with Dick Van Patten.
He does.
Who Dick Van Patten has literally no role in this movie except to hang out with this guy in like 3 scenes. And he's just like, don't worry, I got a plan.
I think this was like, I honestly believe that was spot on. This was like clearing out Disney contracts.
Yeah,
I
probably.
believe that's what this was.
Like,
That's
get 'em
why
in here.
that's why it's like this. There's this recognizable cast in the background of this movie.
Yeah.
Or not necessarily background, but just like why are you here?
Yeah,
Like,
just supporting cast.
Like,
Just
you
like,
know-
hey, you got an extra week, get over here.
I mean, there's plenty of people here. I think 8 is enough.
Boo. Yeah, so Dick Van Patten's plan is, okay, there are these 2 guys. They're getting out of jail. It's Tom Bosley and Tim Conway. They are crooks, and they're gonna do hijinks to prevent Gus from playing football. That's the long and the short of it is that's what happens. So they do things like they get Gus drunk.
That wasn't their first plan. The first plan was it wasn't the first time where they because they call up the first time and they're like, hey, who delivers?
Oh yeah, they
'Cause
just steal Gus.
Yeah, they pretend to be like newspaper reporters or something like that.
Tell
They're
us
like,
about your
We're gonna
security.
we're gonna do a human interest story on where Gus stays when he's not playing games,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh yeah, he's driven to the game by whatever horse company, and they're like, great, and so Tim Conway shows up in like a horse trailer and
Yeah,
tries.
drives Gus all around the place. So he misses 1 game.
Yeah, so they lose.
They lose that game. And Ed Asner knows right away. He's just like, all right, I get it. You sons of
This
bitches.
better not ever happen again.
Right. And then they get Gus drunk.
That's a little bit later, but
Yeah,
yeah,
they win some more games.
Some more hijinks ensue, but yes, eventually they sneak in to his now like because it's at a point like they try to fuck with Gus so much that like I'm trying to think of like they did any other like ways to fuck with him before.
No, I think the second time was they get him drunk.
I feel like they took Andy out of the mix first, and then it was the drunk Gus thing.
No, because that whole hospital bit is later.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, because they escalate it big time. The second time they just show up like Tim Conway has like a mule's head on a stick and confuses the security that they've
Yeah,
hired.
I was gonna say because like after he
Yeah,
gets kidnapped, they're like
but that's the getting him drunk one.
right.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
Yeah, they only cause him to lose 2 games.
Right. And
Right.
the third one is when they basically kidnap
Third one
Andy,
is when they kidnap
Yeah.
Gus.
So
take
like
him to the hospital.
But yes, like at this point, like Gus is a star that he's already been like taken away for 1 game, so like they've got him under lock and key. Like it's like high security thing with guards everywhere and a whole different place. And so Tom Bosley sneaks in as like he's a head security guard inspection guy, and everyone's like, "Oh, okay,
Oh, you're here. All right.
Yeah, we don't know who you are, but we're going to listen to you.
Yeah, all right.
And so Tim Conway's like out in the bushes, like with a mule head walking around. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to try to do Tom Bosley, but like he's like, oh yeah, he's here. He's like, well, what's that over there?" And they're like, "Oh, get him!" And so they comically go after that while Tom Bosley sneaks in and pours vodka into the oats of the horse in the horse stall
And into his
some kind of drink bucket. Yeah.
bucket. Yeah,
And this was right after. So Gus and Andy had gone on some sports talk show or news show or whatever, where the guy was just like, look, everything fucking sucks right now. It's 1976. The world fucking sucks. But we can believe in one thing. And it's my guest tonight. It's Gus. And it's just Gus on a goddamn news set with Andy over there.
They do that a lot. They do a lot of like
here's a mule.
Well, because
in a
like
weird
when they
place.
first arrived in America, he's sitting like in coach on the TWA flight.
Right, as the windows go
Yeah.
by, as the plane's landing.
So
they
going
do
down
this-
going on the moving sidewalk in LAX.
Right.
It's like all these things.
Yeah. So they're doing this news program, and then they're like, "Hey, Andy, we got a surprise for you coming in live on the fucking Telstar. It's your parents in Yugoslavia." And they're just like, "Andy, you suck."
No. His father's basically like, he's not hero. His brother is hero. He was his finger. You calling one finger hero? It's like,
He
here's a
holds
real
ball.
hero. Here's your brother. And he just immediately like, oh no.
I do love the first thing the dad says, which is exactly right. He says, "Gus is the one doing it. Gus is the hero. My son is fucking doing nothing." And so this, of course, makes Andy very sad.
Yes, Andy is sad.
Gus probably is sad too, but we don't know. But anyway, that's what leads to it's Gus appreciation night at the game.
Right.
But Gus is now drunk, and so
Which, yeah, they taught this mule to drunk walk.
he stumbles around, crosses his legs, is just like knocking shit over, and everyone's like, "Oh no!"
Well, because they've set up like these horseshoes that he has to walk through, like a parade type thing.
it's a goddamn Undertaker entrance.
And then
It's like coming into WrestleMania.
and then the mayor is coming up with like a horseshoe laurel, to put around him.
Yeah.
And he's like sees double vision, and I guess for some reason it's like fuck that shit. And
Okay, so wait a minute. The mayor is dressed like the fucking Monopoly man.
Sure.
And he's gonna
Aren't all mayors? That's how they were.
I guess he's gonna give him the key to the city and this award and everything. And he's walking over to present it to Gus, and Gus is just like, "Man, I'm freaking out," and stunts the mayor onto its back and is just running around. Meanwhile, the cheerleaders are like, "I don't know, do that pyramid thing we do."
Yeah.
So they do that.
They're real good at it.
And of course, Gus then launches the mayor into them, and they all fall down. Again, I was like, time for bowling sound
pin,
effect,
yeah.
but we don't get that. But there's a giant cardboard cutout of Gus, which is actually horrifying, up on this big backdrop.
No, it's very cute.
But they all
not
grab
horrifying.
onto it. Various features
it's not just
of his.
cardboard because it's got moving ears. Like
Yes.
at this point,
Yeah.
everyone has like made
Gus
Mickey
ears.
Mickey
Oh, yeah.
Mouse ears, but with Gus with
Yeah.
Neil
Oh yeah.
ears.
This town is just they're into Gus. But God, the cheerleaders are just like hanging off his eye and everything. It's just it's
It's a little
it's
horrifying.
a little scary. But anyway, yeah, Gus is drunk and they don't win that game because Gus is drunk.
Doesn't he like pass out or something?
I think I don't even think we see the game. I think Ed Asner is just like, well, fuck that, we lost. And then like dude is in the locker room waiting for him or whatever. He's just like, well, lost that one, huh? That's too bad.
Right.
But
Yeah.
Eventually they get to the playoffs and they
Yeah,
win.
they still are
Playoffs.
like start winning again.
Yeah. They're like, okay, guy, I'm on to you.
There's the one more shenanigans before the Super Bowl.
Before the Super Bowl,
It's when they kidnap Andy basically, or
Yeah.
they trick Andy because
Yes.
like I think this is like a playoff game. I want to say it's like
believe it is.
it's getting towards the end, like
because like Andy's not there, and they're like, well,
Yeah,
Gus won't
playoff
kick
game.
unless Andy is here.
yeah. But the way they got Andy not to be there is Tom Bosley calls him and for some strange reason pretends to be a Jewish doctor.
Well,
It's real strange. Tom Bosley
1976,
Tom Bosley keeps playing characters throughout this, but he's never interacting with the same person twice. So it's like,
Right.
why are you doing that?
Well,
But whatever.
You
Yeah.
gotta be slick.
Yeah.
Acting.
But yeah, he's like, this is Dr. Rosenstein over at this hospital. It's like, Debbie, she was in an accident. She's gonna be
Yeah.
okay, but she
she's
said,
verklempt.
you don't need to come down here. She just, she wants you to play the game. And of course, Andy's like, no, I must
No,
come.
I can't play the
And
game.
so-
He's like, oh no, please don't come down. Okay.
So yeah, this is probably the worst of all the hijinks things because they basically just. They get Andy in a room and are basically like convince him that like he's gonna have to give blood for her, but that she's fine. You don't need to go see her yet.
He's
Just-
like, Andy, what kind of blood do you have? And he's like, I don't know. And he's like, perfect, that'll do.
that's what she needs. Yeah. Anyway, like take off all your clothes, put on this gown, and wait here. We'll take you to the transfusion room. So
Yeah.
they steal his clothing.
That's basically the plot, is just steal his clothing. And then it's just like, that's the end of the hijinks, really, is they've stolen his clothing. Clearly, he cannot get back to where he needs to be.
Yeah, but they do a pretty good fake out because like Tom Bosley fucks off somewhere at some for some
he
reason
leaves Tim Conway in
yeah.
charge of watching him, which doesn't work out well.
Which is it's like one of those things where like you have a pair of crooks and one is they're both incompetent but one's extra incompetent. It's like you always wonder like why did you not murder the incompetent one?
Like why are you still teaming with this guy?
Like why is Pinky not dead?
Yes,
like
yes, yes, exactly. Yeah. It's always like I could find literally no one else except this drooling vegetable.
Yeah. But this is the one semi-clever thing that Andy does because Andy is also like just been a fucking rube this entire movie. Like everything is like I've never seen City and oh lady and it's just everything. He's just fucking stupid. But this is the one thing he does that's clever is like we see him like tying bed sheets to the bed and like we're like oh he's gonna climb out the window and then we hear this like and we're like oh shit Andy died again.
Yeah.
And Tim Conway goes running in there and like immediately sees the bed sheets out the window and like leans to look and Andy is like
continue.
Okay.
I just want to track back to another layer of Inception.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So like Tim Conway leans down through the window to like see him splatted on the pavement or whatever and he jumps out of the bathroom or somewhere that he was hiding
behind a screen
and shuts the window on Tim Conway and then it's just like I'll go out the normal door.
Yep.
Good job, Andy.
But does a bunch of like run around, like stops at the nurse's desk to like ask if Debbie's even there, and they're like, "No, we don't have anything." And
there's no Debbie here.
He sees Tom Bosley chasing him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm out of here," and basically gets to the game just as it's about to be over.
Wait, hold on. Hold on.
All right,
you're skipping over the best part of this. Is he ducks into the X-ray room?
Oh, right. Yes. Sorry.
And hides behind the X-ray screen, and there's a cat here for some reason. I don't know why. Just a cat hanging out in the X-ray room.
Hospital cat.
Well, it was the X-ray / CAT scan. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yes, they had to save space and put
Yeah.
them all in the same room. So anyway, he's
It could also be a PET scan. But
okay, well,
just saying.
He hides behind the screen, and Tom Bosley comes in and flips the switch, and you just see this skeleton pressed against the thing, and he's just like, well, that's not unusual. And he goes, and then the cat goes, meow, and he's like, the hell? And so he flips it back on again, and now Andy's like fucking with the cat, and he's like, all right, you, and goes behind the screen, and it's this animated skeleton fight with also a skeleton of a cat who eventually gets thrown onto Tom Bosley's face.
So the best part about this, so obviously, like, we were just joking about like Disney makes some shitty posters for having all these animators, but they did bring in some animators for this, and it's really well done because obviously they filmed the scene and then did the animation afterwards.
Sure.
But there was a point where they're fighting completely behind the screen, and like occasionally you'll see an arm go out, and then it's a real arm on the outside of the screen.
They do it with the cat too.
But they lift the cat up at one point up over the screen, so that it's half X-ray, half real cat, and then he throws it on Tom Bosley's face, and so you're left with like Tom Bosley with a cat on his face as Andy leaves the room.
It's very good.
Yeah.
I really like that.
I mean, Tom Bosley's skeleton.
Yes.
With the cat on its face.
It's cute.
Starring Tom Bosley's skeleton.
It's a cute bit.
So back to the Inception counter. We skipped over one. So Dick Butkus is really pissed that Andy is having success. So
correct.
he's trying to...
Murder?
He's also trying to murder Andy.
Yes.
And at least twice he fucking nails Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At one point, he just nails him on the sideline
Yeah,
for no reason.
I was gonna say
Right.
that's the best one because like, all right,
They're playing...
Th-
I
th-
think
I was
they're
gonna
playing
say-
against the Mammoths.
sure,
And...
possibly it doesn't matter, but like
Or the Oilers or
he
whatever.
he goes diving for a guy that's like on the sideline,
Yeah.
and like misses him, but then like is like I'm on the sideline and Andy's sitting on the bench, so he lays into Andy like on the sideline and Andy's out. Like in fact, like Ed Asner goes over and like, hey kid, you okay? And he's like, Papa, I made you proud, kiss.
Yeah.
It's like Ed Asner gives that. Ugh.
So that's our third layer of Inception. Andy is dead once again.
But the better part about this is
Yeah.
at the end of the game, they're like, it's time. They're like, well, Gus won't kick for anybody else but Andy.
Uh-huh.
They literally take Andy on a stretcher out onto the field, and like the
Just plop him down.
well, the commentators are even like, I've seen plenty of people carried off in a stretcher, never someone carried on the field on a stretcher. But yes, they plop his dead body over there just to put catch the ball. Like he's literally like laying completely prone, catches the ball and places it with his finger, and then says whatever word it is to trigger. So they win the game barely, but he's nearly dead.
Oh, it's
So like,
good.
Andy recovers fine from this. The next time, it's during a game.
Yeah.
Or no, it's during practice.
It's during practice.
It's during practice. And
Butkus is on defense trying to stop the field goal.
and goes to murder Andy again.
Yeah.
And this time Gus is like, and like does the double kick.
Double kick.
sends Butkus over the field goal, and what do they describe? Like they said, like
He says the sportscaster says something like, two things I've never seen before. He's going to be in a wheelchair, and also he's been traded to.
Yeah,
but
he's been traded to the Bama's, but I don't know if that's going to do a lot of good unless they let him play in the wheelchair for the rest of the season.
Yes.
Yeah, they're basically like, he's paralyzed.
But God, they just launch a dummy over the field goal. It's just an absolute prone stuffed dummy.
So yes, I guess Andy has died at least thrice.
Three times.
Yes. So he gets
So what was it? 15 times slower in the Inception every layer
I
you
think
go.
So, yeah. So. But in his absence, because Ed Asner has learned he's at the hospital giving lady a transfusion, and then he just looks over and there's the lady. He's like, the hell?
So yeah, there's the one guy in the back office is like the entertainment guy, like the he's the guy, like the marketing guy that's like he's the one that was hiring the band and talked him into getting the meal in the first place, and he's just like, I just got a call from Andy. He's in the hospital. He's they're giving blood for Debbie, and Asner's just like, you mean that Debbie's right over there? Does she look like she needs a transfusion?
Yeah. And this is when Debbie suits up and goes out and takes Andy's place.
Right.
And I believe Gus kicks for her.
He does, because at first he's like, oh hell no, and then she's like,
come on, do it for Andy.
Do it for Andy.
Yeah.
Oos, or whatever the fucking word is.
Yes.
Like,
Oosa.
Yeah. But so he reluctantly kicks for her, and then like Andy is like escaped the hospital and is like limping into the tunnel.
He's
or
coming
whatever.
through the tunnel as he sees this happen.
And for this is like your typical Disney movie bullshit where
really
there was in nearly every Disney movie, at least like in anything that's over like, I think they finally got away from it probably 10 years ago in the animated world, but like their live action movies still do this.
Yeah.
Where it's for people's brains that haven't fully developed. But there will be this like no, I'm saying there's this point where like in you have to have this like, it's like they're going by something where it's like you got to have an X number of conflicts in the second act of a movie, and they're always like, well, the book says you got to have 4, so we got to like do this because
it's a template.
It's like a template, and he walks in and like she's wearing the uniform. It's like, oh Andy, you're safe, thank God. And he just gets angry at her, like, oh well, I guess you don't need me after all.
Well, he's like, yeah, obviously I have no worth here whatsoever. Gus kicked for you, so therefore it doesn't matter what I do.
Yeah, it's
woe is me.
It's dumb conflict where like she was totally helping him out.
Yeah.
He sees it as bad, and it's immediately like, fuck, my dad was right. I'm going back to Yugoslavia to be with my dad.
Right. That'll show him.
Fuck your dad, Andy.
Don't fuck your dad.
Yeah, Andy, fuck your dad.
But established dominance. Yeah, anyway, so like that conflict lasts for like 2 seconds until she goes to the airport and is like, Andy, no, I love you. And he's like, you're right. Okay.
You do love me. I will stay.
It's fucking stupid because, like I said, he storms off in a huff, and it's like 2 seconds later she's at the airport.
Conflict,
Yeah.
But he also he learns that people do like him because like a bunch of people want to.
Oh yeah, they're all like, Andy, we're
Andy,
you're gonna win, right?
Yeah. He's like, sure. Except I'm going to Yugoslavia, and they're like, what?
How are you gonna win the Super Bowl in Yugoslavia?
So they get to the playoffs. They win their playoff game. They're going to the Super Bowl, and that's when bookie guy comes in and talks to Ed Asner. He's just like, so stuff, huh? And he's like, yeah. Right. They both know.
Well, no, he tries to get cryptic because he's like, so where's Gus staying these days? And
I would like to congratulate him.
Yeah, he's like, I tell you what, I'll give you a special interview after the Super Bowl. It's like, if you want to find him now, you might need an airplane or a car,
right,
or a boat. And what I'm saying is he could be fucking anywhere. And
so this is okay. Look, I was about to say this is real dumb, but what the fuck? Why am I criticizing this? So Ed Asner's on to this guy at this point. He fucking knows what they're doing, and so he sets up this thing for them to go hide. But what he should have taken it one step further and had just been like, I know they're going to listen into these phone calls, so we're going to throw them off and send them on a wild goose chase. But what happens is...
But then we wouldn't have seen Ralph's.
Yes, but what happens is that Andy and What's-Her-Nuts are talking on the phone, and he's just like, yeah, it's great. Gus and I are hiding out at this mountain, and I can see the ocean from here. And Tom Bosley and crew are listening in on this phone call, and they're like, aha, got him, which is like, what?
Well, this guy's like, oh, I know Ed Asner has a place in the mountains,
right?
Blah blah blah. And he's like, they must be there.
Yes. So everything Ed Asner did fucking did nothing, because they basically kidnap Gus and swap him out with a ringer.
With an anti-ringer.
Yes,
Yeah.
an opposite of a ringer, a dinger.
No, a dinger's still a good thing.
Oh, donger.
Dongers depends on what
Anyway,
you like.
they've painted something and made it look like Gus and send it on the way.
They
I
replaced
believe
him
it's
with a
another
poor.
meal. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think they were going to fall for like a, fucking Pepe Le Pew thing here.
Well, they kind of did.
I mean,
they swapped him out for a poor horse.
I'm saying, like, they could have brought a fucking narwhal and been like, oh, it's Gus.
I mean,
Yeah, okay.
They didn't paint a
Narwhal
tunnel
is a
entrance
bit
on a
far.
brick wall or something. I mean, it was.
They could have.
Yes. But anyway, so Andy goes and gets him, and because like there's this convoluted bus crash with Tom Bosley or whatever. So anyway, they have Gus, and they take Gus to a hotel, and they decide to go to sleep. But then it's the next morning, and Gus makes a break for it. He's just like, nah, fuck this noise, and kicks the door open and runs down the hall, and eventually gets away and runs through town. The game has already started. It's pouring down rain. The fake Gus goes out to kick a field goal, and Andy's
Just
like,
stands there.
yeah, he's just like, what's wrong with you, dude? And pets him, and his paint rubs off. He's like, the hell? This isn't Gus. And everyone's like, ah, shit, we're doomed because we never taught these other players how to play football.
Yeah, we never bad news bears the rest of the team. Damn
it's
it.
just Gus, so we're fucked. And then Ed Asner's just like, we'll find him. Let's go. And they just leave.
Yeah, well, he takes Andy, and
Yeah.
they get in a helicopter.
And they're like, well, we'll go find him. We'll spot him somewhere. He's obviously out there running wild.
well, they did get some report of like him
Yeah.
being in like Topanga.
Oh yeah,
area
he's
or
in
something
the
like that.
he's in the canyon or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, Gus goes to Ralph's.
That's not his first stop. But
No.
yeah, he's running through town.
He
and
just
eventually,
runs through some places.
Eventually, like it's comedic. Like dog chasers. Tom Bosley and Tim Conway
Yeah.
are chasing him, but
The finale of this movie basically takes place in Ralph's. It's all the shenanigans in the movie happen in Ralph's.
Yes.
which is a grocery store in California.
Yes.
if you don't know,
Right.
But just sharing.
If you've seen The Big Lebowski,
Yeah,
that's where he buys his non-dairy creamer.
yeah, or drinks it
Yeah.
there
And
in
writes
the-
a
in the
check
store.
for 68 cents. So this is just Gus is in Ralph's. And then Tom Bosley and Tim Conway are in Ralph's, and they just go up and down each aisle and cause fucking chaos. Chaos and mayhem.
Yep.
It's
I mean, Tim Conway gets thrown into a display of tomatoes.
Uh-huh.
And he was wearing like a white painter's uniform for some reason.
sure, so the tomatoes would
yeah.
show up better.
Tom Bosley gets tagged with some flour, so he's walking around like all floured face for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And
then he gets squirted
yeah,
with
I
a
was
bunch
gonna
of
say,
ketchup and mustard.
Then for some reason there's ketchup and mustard condiment bottles, like squeeze bottles all over.
Why
the
are they
floor.
full?
I don't know.
You don't
That's
sell
how-
ketchup and mustard like that.
In Ralph's, you do.
Well,
so that Ralph's is a fine
yeah.
grocery store. They sell pre-dispensed into comedic dispensers.
Yes.
I mean, I always wanted to buy
Mustard
my
ketchup.
groceries, my food, from a place that is named after the opposite of eating food.
Right.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Maybe that's where that came from.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, you got the Ralphs. Yeah. Let's see. There's a giant cake that Tim Conway gets.
Yeah,
flung
because it's
into.
also like the anniversary of Ralph's. I
Sure.
guess Ralph's was a new company around
Happy
that time.
anniversary, annual sale.
I don't know when Ralph's
Did
started.
Ralph's
Yeah, come on, Google Meister,
store-
Yeah.
Meister of Googles.
1975.
Oh,
No. I'm kidding.
Ah,
1873.
Good
is
Holy
how long
Lord.
Ralph's
shit.
has been open.
That might have been
Holy
their
God.
centennial anniversary cake. That's why they had a fucking
yeah. That's why that
12-layer
cake was goddamn huge.
The one in Temecula, depicted in this this film,
Might have been opening year.
opened in 1975.
Okay.
All right.
You're
I
lying
don't,
again.
I am lying.
Stop
for sure. Yeah.
Stop that.
Yeah. Anyway,
I was selling it.
You
Okay.
were. It was
but
pretty good.
yes, they are trying to lasso Gus with rope that they conveniently sell at Ralph's.
Ralph sells rope and trash cans because Tim Conway at one point becomes a weird trash can centipede.
Yes.
Yeah, he lands butt first in some large trash cans, which then have like 7 trash cans kaleidoscoping on his butt. And then he gets thrown into some buckets, and he has 7 or 8 buckets on his head.
Yep.
Pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. It's just nonstop shenanigans, and eventually Gus is just like, "Well, enough of this. I have defeated them."
Yeah.
And he runs out.
Yeah.
Gus will stop and laugh after every
Oh, yeah.
occasional. Once he does a pretty good gag, he does one very slow setup to where he is pushing some items off the top of a shelf so that eventually the bag of flour will hit Tom Bosley.
Right.
He's very cold and calculated doing this.
Oh, yeah.
It is sinister in nature. But yeah. And eventually, like, they flying over in the helicopter. Like, 2 hours later, this Super Bowl should be over. But they see Gus and they're like, hey,
Oh yeah,
Gus.
like he's in the Ralph's parking lot.
Yeah.
They're like, there he is.
Yeah, because Gus just runs out into the parking lot and is just like, well, now what? And they're like, we'll never get it back to the stadium in
I
time.
want to. There's one really dumb gag that I like in the Ralphs that I wanted, because there's a point where like Ralph's kind of like at several points Ralph could just leave, but he's in full on Kevin McAllister mode. Like
Ralph can't leave.
Or Gus can leave Ralph's. Sorry. Gus could
You
leave.
can't-
There are several points where he is incapacitated enough that he could just leave and get away.
Oh, yes,
but he's
yes.
in full on Kevin McAllister. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to finish these fuckers
Yes.
before I call the police or anything
Enough
else.
of this chicanery.
But there's one point where he like ducks back into like the butcher department.
Oh, yeah.
And my favorite. There's two things that I like about this. One, he runs through like the butcher doors.
Yeah. He runs into the back.
Whatever you call
Where
those,
the sign
those
says
swinging
employees
swinging
only.
doors,
The
yeah.
batwing doors.
But one of the butchers is like standing there, like, and it just sees him like out of the corner of his eye, and like turns around and is like, "Who's that?" And it's like, it's a fucking mule, dude. Like,
Who is that? It's Jimmy. Who do you think it is? Jesus.
but there's a joke when because he basically goes back that way and comes out like by the actual butcher,
Yeah.
display, and so like the guys there are like, oh no, like here we have the very freshest cuts of meat, that's how we can offer it. And then that guy that was like, who is that, like goes running chasing Gus out of the back with a butcher knife in his hand, while this lady is like getting the explanation of how fresh their meat is. She's like, fresh meat indeed. Harumph.
Why I never. It's like, where do you think the meat comes from?
I just like that guy's like, who is that?
Yeah. Who is that?
What?
What is that?
A horse-like
Who is that?
creature just ran by you. You're like, who is that?
You're a goddamn butcher. You should know.
I have great news for you.
Ma'am,
guys.
I love Sex in the City.
Did you find out that the store opened in 1975?
I did not find that out yet, but
Okay.
I did find out
Yeah.
that Ralph's is still there.
We should go.
There's still a Ralph's. It is in Van Nuys.
Oh, hell yeah. Yes. When we make our pilgrimage to Van Nuys,
Yeah.
we'll go to the Ralphs
Okay,
and see where Gus caused mayhem.
fair enough. But anyway,
The old ketchup and mustard stains will
this is
still
where
be
it's
there.
about to get crazier, because like,
Oh, sure, yeah.
on the helicopter, they're like, it's only been like 30 minutes. We still have time. And it's like, no. But
You don't.
we're like, how are you going to get a mule back to the stadium? And at this point, like, Hogan's Heroes and
Bob Crane.
Bob
and Johnny
Crane. Yeah, I'm
Unitas.
sorry, Bob Crane. I couldn't remember his fucking name for a second.
Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah. And Johnny Unitas are like, oh, there's no, we're hearing that they've located Gus. There's
Yeah.
just no way they're going
But
to get him
he's
back.
never going to get here.
Yeah, never going to get back to the stadium in time. And they fucking airlift Gus in
They do.
under the helicopter.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
There's literally a shot at one point of Gus strapped in underneath the helicopter.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
And that happens.
Yeah, they
Well-
just land while everyone on the field is just like, hey, like, this is the most exciting Super Bowl ever.
Do you think if Tom Brady had been kidnapped, had to escape by shenaniganing his way through a Ralph's,
I would watch this movie.
right? And then was discovered in Toluca Lake or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and had to get to the Super Bowl. You think they wouldn't airlift Tom Brady's ass into the stadium?
Well, they would just put
They
him in the
would.
helicopter. They're not going to strap him into a harness.
Oh,
That's,
no,
that's
they
the
would.
difference. He'd be in the helicopter.
Oh, they would.
They're just going to Coast Guard him in.
Yeah, they're going to Coast Guard Tom Brady into the stadium.
Just spinning around like that lady.
I'm sorry, Tom. Your rescue vehicle's stuck in the mud. Well, you know what you have to do. Deflate the tires.
Oh, man.
Aw,
Sick burn on Tom Brady for that thing that no one was held accountable for.
Tom Brady served like a 4-game suspension for that.
Oh, well. And then he won the Super Bowl.
Right.
Anyway, yeah. So the Gus has arrived, and they're behind like 3 touchdowns, and it's the fourth quarter. And Ed Asner's like, "Sweet,
It's the end of the third
It's actually in the
quarter,
third quarter. It threw me off because they went ahead and put zeros in the quarter instead
Yeah.
of just like, that's not what you do. You put
Right.
you put
It's
a point
blank.
if someone gets it, but you only put a 0 when it's
Right.
over. And so I looked at the scoreboard and I was like, there's one fucking quarter left, and they need to score 6 field goals. Fuck you,
Yeah.
movie.
Well,
yes."
I mean, still, because like that's still pretty impossible in that amount of time. But I
But
don't know.
I'm sorry, the opposing team should be able to run out the clock at this point.
Yes.
obviously.
But they don't.
But no, they don't. It's just every shot is of Gus kicking another field goal. It's the weirdest football series of events ever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, yay, field goal, yay, field goal. It's like 7 straight field goals in 15 minutes. Yeah, and there's okay, so we get to the last play.
Mm-hmm. Which, well, it's the second to last play, because the last play is like they are running the clock out. Like there's like a minute left on the clock.
So the Michigan Mammoths, who are this other fake team, because we can't have a real team lose to the fucking Gus in the Super Bowl.
Which is where Dick Buckus got traded to.
He got traded to. So they are going to run out the clock, but they do some really stupid way. They try to dive over the top.
I think they're trying to score one last time.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there not a kneel rule? Was there like a point where you couldn't do the kneel thing?
Well,
I think they were afraid of something.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I mean, it looks like they're just trying to do like a goal line rush.
Yeah,
but somehow the ball pops out
Right.
and gives them possession back. But they're like,
they're on the 1 basically.
well, I mean, field goals are about 15 yards more, so they were like, we're gonna have to kick from the end zone. They were pretty damn close, but
and Andy's like, look, Gus can kick a 100-yard field goal, but anything over that, we don't know. So and
Maybe they needed
like
one more first down to run out the clock.
I don't know. There were 10 seconds. There were literally 10 seconds left. It was real stupid. But anyway, so there's 3 seconds left. They have the ball. They're like, Gus, get out there and kick the field goal. So they go out there. They are deep in their own end zone.
Also, it's been raining.
Yes,
It has been raining, and it is incredibly muddy.
Hasn't stopped him previous in the 5 other attempts.
No.
So they hike the ball. Gus doesn't kick the ball.
He just kind of. It almost looks like he lays down.
He just like sits down
or slips. I think he actually like intentionally slips.
He
where he's
did.
Like, whoop.
We know he did. Yeah. But anyway, so the ball is out. And Andy picks it up.
Yep.
And Andy starts running.
Uh-huh.
And there's about 15 minutes left in this movie. So this final play takes for fucking ever. But Andy like looks over and sees the ball, and he looks at it.
Well,
and then he picks it up.
There are shots of him like moving forward, and then guys will surround him. At first he was running backwards, like he was running like right into the end zone, like about to give them a safety.
Yeah.
But then like I don't know if he looked at him or something, but like Dick Buckus started chasing him, but he was like, oh, I should probably run.
He's
the other
also
way.
come in on this play.
Yeah. Well, one other thing happened. Like, he got the ball. Gus refused to kick it, and then he got like smashed or something by somebody, and then Gus looked and bounced the ball back to Andy with his nose.
Yes.
That's your first tip-off.
Right.
Right.
Andy starts running. We never have
Started
any indication
running.
of where he is on the field. But
Oh no, because this is like old school shitty stadium with no
Right.
numbers on the yard markers.
yeah. So he's running, and then loses the ball, and you're like, "What the shit, Andy? You dumb shit! This is your only shot." And then the ball bounces around a bit, and then eventually Andy gets it back.
Yeah, somehow he's gone back like 10 yards and
Yeah.
receives it like yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then keeps running, and then it's all in slow motion,
Yeah.
and it all takes for fucking ever. But eventually, just whatever.
Yeah,
Andy scores.
Spoiler, he gets a touchdown.
Yes.
Which also, like, with all of the dumbassery and, like, balls being bounced and thrown in every
Yeah.
which way, there is no fucking flag on this.
No flags
Like,
whatsoever.
it's just like,
all
right.
legal. These refs don't care. There's a fucking mule playing.
That's true, yeah.
All
They give it
bets
up.
are off.
I didn't see any penalties occur during those shenanigans.
I don't know. There might have been a forward lateral at some point.
That's what I was getting
It's
at, yeah.
a fumble.
Or,
there are
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of fumbles.
Some chop blocks or
There was probably a chop block,
Yeah.
but those weren't illegal in
Yeah,
76.
That's
he was
true,
probably someone probably gave somebody the business.
yes.
Oh, for
he's
sure,
giving
for
the
sure.
business.
I mean,
Giving
pretty
and
sure
or
that
receiving
happens.
the business in a mud scrap is 100% legal
Yeah.
Yeah.
in 76.
Yeah, you can do mud scraps or the frozen tundra at Lambeau Field. That's where you
Right.
can give people the business,
Yes.
but
Right.
not a proper, manicured
Shenanigans were allowed in 76.
Yeah.
Tomfoolery.
Well, not Tom Bosley foolery.
Tom
that,
Bosley
that
foolery.
was not allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Well, no.
No.
That was both illegal and not allowed. It's a little bit
Right.
legal these
Yeah.
days.
Oh man, they were happy days back then.
Mulery. Oh, nice. Scumbaggery was allowed.
Yeah, Tom. What about Tom Muellery?
Tom Mulery was definitely allowed.
That's allowed. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about generally acting like a jackass?
Also
Which-
allowed.
which,
yeah.
by the way,
encouraged in the NFL.
This
in
movie
1976.
waited until the 0 hour to drop a jackass line, and it
Yeah.
wasn't a good one either. Like
No, it's Bob Crane saying it.
It was
Yeah.
90 minutes before we heard Jackass.
Yeah,
and
that was
the
the
movie is 91
jackass
minutes.
calling the mule a donkey.
right.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I know.
Fuck Bob Crane.
Yeah.
Well,
so
no, because he'd film it. And
yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah, don't fuck.
You don't know where those tapes are.
Right.
So they win. The crowd instantly is like, "Hooray!" Gone.
well, leaving what's his face and Dick Van Patten just
Yeah.
like, oh.
Yeah, they're just sitting there like, I can't believe this happened. And it's just like, well, wait, what are the repercussions for you? Like, who gives a shit? Like, just move on. Do more shady shit.
Ed Asner doesn't have to pay back his gambling debts, which are great. Great enough
You're right.
to be worth an NFL football team.
That's
Even
true.
in 1976, that's at least $7,000.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. But anyway, yeah, they win, and Andy's just...
Well, Ed Asner like walks by Gus and is like, you can't get all of them, can you? And then Debbie walks up and is like, I know what you did.
yeah,
Wink.
yep.
Which...
No, it's not Debbie winking.
I don't know. I'm saying she's like, I know what you did. Wink, and then cut to Gus, who actually winks.
And freeze frame, the end.
I mean, I think she laid a big old smooch on Andy first.
Right.
You know, but-
Yes.
Also, his dad was there, and his
He's
dad
like,
was
oh,
just
you are a hero.
Yeah.
You're number one.
you are a great son.
Yeah.
You can't just like your son because he's, seems like he's a pretty good kid.
He's
and
successful
your
in a
son.
different arena. I mean, what the shit? Why is it always just like, this son's great? Fuck you.
The wrong kid died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this movie's over.
And then it ends.
Yeah.
Because in 1976, you front-loaded the credits.
Yes.
Yep.
I want to point out one technical thing about this film before we get to ratings.
Okay.
All right.
So there is a lot of green screen in this movie.
Wow.
Because they could not film at actual football games.
No, because
it's
Gus
really-
would have kicked somebody's nuts
Rear
into space.
projection bullshit, but yes.
It's terrible.
Yeah. If you haven't seen rear projection stuff in a long time, it's shockingly bad.
It's, I mean, no matter what amount of restoration was done on this print, which is in HD, by the way, they're glowing like Jedis all the time. And any crowd scene is just like, oh, you're in another dimension. You're not there. I don't know where you, like the first time it happened, it's just like, oh God, where are these people?
Well, to give you an idea, because it's entirely possible you, the listener, are an age that I know there were people that have had discussions of like, I haven't seen movies before a certain year.
Right.
Pulp Fiction, when he's driving around, is like intentionally bad rear projection stuff that you don't see anymore.
Yeah, any of the early Bond movies where he's driving, you're just like, oh,
yeah,
wow,
there you go, yeah.
where the fuck are you? That you will say that a lot in this.
Yeah, I'm
Because
saying
it's
like
just,
the rear projection was the first. That's
Yeah.
bad. And then blue screen,
Right.
which is also inherently has some problems, and then green screen, we've mostly gotten it there.
yes, unless you're in Arrested Development, but
Or some semi big budget movies that might get talked about in the second half. But,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, mostly we've figured this out at this point.
Yeah.
because it's about lighting a certain way, and
Right.
making the onset lighting match what's going to be in the computer lighting. Blah
Yes.
blah 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 blah.
but I don't think this print in 1976 was ever shown bright enough to where anyone would have noticed.
I just think people expected things to look like that.
Sure,
you know?
they didn't know any better, basically.
That was a great effect for back then.
Sure. Also, that mule kicked field goals.
Yes.
They did. Yeah.
So
I think we're done.
yeah,
Talking about Gus.
let's rate Gus, the mule.
Huh. This is weird to rate.
I don't think it's weird to rate.
Yeah, it's just so far out of
It's different.
it's so far out of style for us that it feels like this is more of a challenge to rate than
I feel like this is the same movie as Air Bud, just not quite 20 years earlier,
Yeah, I guess so.
15 years earlier. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember when Air Bud came out.
Who knows? Air Bud is timeless.
1996.
Really? Are you just doing that thing again where you look at your computer and pretend like you know shit?
Yeah. All right. So
You were
that-
close. It
that
was
would be-
97.
Oh, okay, fine. It was 20 years earlier, but I'm saying it's
Yeah,
almost the exact same
I
thing.
guess. I
if
think
I'm
we're
saying
so-
if we allow an Air Bud, we have to allow a Gus.
Yeah. I think I'm so deep
Truer
into,
things have never been said.
I think I'm so deep into the Airbud / Buddy stuff that it does that that's our thing. Airbud and I guess apes or primates, whichever those are.
Yeah, April's.
Aprils, yeah. I don't know. I will say that I like this. I found it incredibly charming. It is kind of boilerplate, I guess. It's like, all right, there are a bunch of animals do, amazing things and make their way into human sports movies. And this is one of them. But
Are there a lot? I mean, you just used the word a lot. I mean,
how many Airbud soccer star or whatever, and
Well,
we
there's
have most
what,
extreme
3
primates.
or 4 proper Airbuds before they get to the Buddies universe, right?
Yeah.
Seventh
Snow
inning
dogs
fetch.
or something. I'm sure there's snow dogs that play hockey or something.
I don't think so. I mean, there was that Matt LeBlanc movie,
Ed.
Yeah.
That monkey played baseball.
Yeah.
I'm saying I think
There's a good
There's
dozen
some.
animal sports movies.
Okay.
Most extreme
And this
primate.
is one of them. Yeah.
There was a wrestling monkey, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Russell Madness.
Russell Madness. He beat Johnny Nitro.
That is true. He did beat John Morrison. So yeah,
Johnny Mundo.
Johnny Mundo.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm having a hard time rating it, but I liked it.
It was better than Cats.
I would watch it again and again. I wouldn't watch it again and again.
Okay.
Like,
I would put this on.
yeah, sure.
Would you?
Yeah, not like I'm not saying I would put on a show of it, like I'm going to remake Gus for Broadway or something. But I would stream it again. Sure, why not? Not sit down and watch it again, but like just
If somebody says they're in the movie for an animal sports movie,
yeah.
yeah,
You're having a party, you got
watch,
people over.
Let's watch Gus instead of Airbud.
Yeah.
Like, let's.
Sure.
I don't know. I have no fucking idea where to rate this.
Do you need more time?
No, I'm just going to give it 2 jocks and be
Okay.
done with it.
All right.
Be done with like hemming and hawing it because it's
Yeah.
pretty entertaining.
That's what mules do.
Hemming and hee-hawing. Like I said, it's pretty good. Don Knotts is kind of wasted, but everybody else plays their roles fine.
Sure.
I'm used to Tom Bosley being like not being the bad guy. I don't know if Tom Bosley is normally the bad guy or I just have only seen Tom Bosley as fine movies or TV shows. But it's entertaining to see him trying to be a bad guy and doing all this, all this weird shit. The mule is cute for a mule. He's smart. He acts well.
Sure.
Like the mule's got skills. I don't know what else to say. I'm just kind of confused by trying to rate this movie.
Okay.
But 2 jocks.
All right.
Okay.
Want me to go?
I don't know. You wanted to go?
Sure, I'll go.
All right.
I'm gonna give it 3 jocks.
All right then.
So here's the thing. I think if this had been like our 6th Disney Plus movie, we would have said, "Wow, okay, I see the 60s and 70s template they used for all their family movies. This is another one of those. No, thank you." But having this be like, in my opinion, or in my case, the first like go back in time and watch one of the Disney things, it's certainly not offensive. It's not, aside from Don Knotts, it's not necessarily groan worthy. I mean, there are some jokes that just don't land, and we sat there silent. And it was just like both of Bob Crane's monologues are just like, dude, shut up. But there's nothing in it that's offensively unfunny.
Bob Crane's monologues are supposed to be like that. To be fair.
Sure. But there's nothing in it where it's just like, fuck you, movie. Like, it doesn't do that. It's surface level, fine. And I appreciate that the animal isn't, like I said before, over the top personified. Doing like just putting on hats or drinking tea or just any number of like, now he's not pulling the cart, he's sitting in the cart and a horse is pulling him. It's just like there's none of that. It's just, this thing can kick field goals and it understands things you say and will occasionally do a scheme to get people to fall in love. But it's not. All the horse did was, or all the mule did was fall down. It's not like it did like, I'm gonna sneak and cause
But
chaos.
it understood what the fuck they were talking about.
I
That's
know.
what I'm getting with.
I know. It's just more subtle than
Sure.
Any movie today would be.
Yes.
So, totally fine.
Also, how did it understand what they were talking about? Like, did
'Cause it's
Andy teach it?
Yugoslavian?
Yeah, did Andy teach it English?
Yeah, they spoke English at that house.
Yeah.
They did. There were no subtitles on this. They spoke English the entire time.
Mule doesn't need to speak any
Gus
human
the psychic
language.
mule that
Yes,
kicks field
Gus
goals?
speaks the language of love.
Mules are
He
universal
the international
translators.
language.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
love.
It's like Esperanto.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Gus is fine.
Yeah, I know. Gus is. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
I'm kind of with BJ on this one. Like, I don't know what to think of this. Like, it's definitely better than I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, like when you said this, I mean, and you've broken me to the point that I will watch just about anything.
Oh,
in
there are
this.
darker places we can go, my friend.
Are you gonna watch that guy's sex tapes? Oh, damn it, I
Bob-
forgot
Bob
his name.
Crane?
Yeah, Bob Crane's sex tapes.
That guy's sex tapes.
Everybody who's listening along knows who I meant.
Yeah, no. What are you talking about? Darker? Like you mean like shit?
Like if we watched movies of the caliber of Dead Trigger every week, because that's what's out there now. There's 16 of those released every month,
Sure.
and they're painful.
Oh, I know. I mean, you could break me, like
I don't want to.
I'm saying
Aw.
like
I thought this would be okay. I looked at this and was like, you know what? That cast is all right. That premise is real dumb. Let's see what it's all about.
I know. I just things that are G-rated like this give me like I'm like this is I just have a prejudgment of like this is going to be bad.
Sure. I understand.
I don't and I think a lot of it is based on the fact that like quote unquote G-rated family entertainment now is literally the worst stuff.
Yes.
Like it is like that it is I know this is going to sound weird because of like other things I've said, but like there is some level of degree of people becoming a little too sensitive. I'm not saying there are some things that warrant some more sensitivity in the world, but there are things where it's like, just for example, and this will be dated immediately as soon as I say it, I saw a thing today that was like somebody suing Burger King because they're cooking the Impossible burgers on the same grill as the regular burgers.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, valid. Also, fuck you. It's a goddamn Burger King. Fuck off. Like, just fuck you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a
They're
certain.
not going to build a vegan grill.
I'm not as angry as like some people are just like, these fucking snowflakes, but at the same time, also, fuck you. It's a Burger King.
Right.
But I'm saying, like, we have reached the point
Sir,
that,
this
like,
is a Burger King.
we've reached the point where it's like G-rated has to be so sanitized
Right.
that there is literally nothing
Yes.
that could offend anybody, anywhere, at any time. That's what I'm saying. That's what we've distilled G-rated entertainment down
Right.
to is like, it is atrocious because it is nothing.
It's usually reserved for the God movies.
Right. And so like when I see G-rated, I have this instinctual like like revulsion thing to it.
Sure.
This is better than that. It's still really goofy. And if you think about it from a football standpoint or any kind of logical standpoint, it breaks immediately.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you can't have mules in the NFL.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, so next thing you know, they let ladies in.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
slippery
Then-
slope,
Yeah,
y'all.
slippery slope. People
What?
will be marrying their mules
Yeah.
and ladies at the same time.
Jesus. Not my NFL.
Yeah.
Fuck, they'd probably let a mule in before they'd let Colin Kaepernick play again.
You're probably right.
Anyway, I said all I had to say. I think I could give it a single jocks. I
fair.
think I could go higher because like it's there's a couple things that are kind of cute, but there's also a lot of like grown worthy stuff in this. Like I'm
See,
not,
I don't think so.
I yes. Like I
Okay.
feel like I feel like there's maybe there's not as many like slapstick bits that are as grown worthy as I thought there would have been. However, there's enough where it's just like yeah, all right, like okay, like
I like most of the slapstick bits.
there is a part of me that likes the classic vaudevillian slapstick, appreciating the physical humor. And here's the thing: if I had a kid, I would probably show them Gus.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's the thing. Is like I'm just saying, as me, a grown ass man, I was a little tired of it by the end. You know, it's just like
That's fair.
Okay,
It does. It could have been 10 minutes shorter.
sure. Like I said, they I feel like they stretch out some things. It's like most of the hospital stuff. I was like, please just hurry up and
Yeah.
get out of this situation. Like there was
Yeah.
nothing funny about any of that really. You know,
Except the
Like,
X-ray.
the X-ray scene.
the
was,
X-ray, fine.
It was
the,
excellent.
The X-ray scene was good. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting that was there, but
Yeah.
like the rest of it was just like, oh, please, just go.
Okay.
But it's fine.
Yeah.
It's a little bit better than fine. It's worth watching.
Outstanding.
Okay, let's take a break, shall we?
Okie dokie. This is weird, but I just want to do a quick plug for
The hell?
yeah, it's strange. It's not an advertisement. It's just this place that is really cool. There's a place called Moon Tower Inn in Houston.
Go
and they,
on.
And they serve like, really good hot dogs and hamburgers, and they have like 50 beers on tap.
Is it near the thing, the moon tower?
I don't know.
That's like a famous thing. Yeah.
I maybe.
Or actually, no, that's not in Houston.
I don't know, dude.
Fuck.
I don't know what the fuck it is.
Why are you promoting this?
Okay, so they do a movie night. Like,
Yeah.
I thought they normally did them Wednesdays, but they're doing this movie night tonight. Unfortunately, you can't. Like, it's too late. But
Are they watching GUS?
they were watching DC Cab,
Okay.
No Holds Barred,
Uh-huh.
and Ready to Rumble
Holy
tonight.
shit.
Yeah,
That's all right.
yeah,
That's
They-
impressive.
and they do like double or triple features like that pretty regularly. So if you're in Houston, go check it out. Their wild game dogs are really good.
Okay.
That's all.
The famous moon towers in Austin.
Okay.
Like as in where Dazed and Confused, like where they were all going together, was the moon tower.
That's right.
Yeah.
This was probably named after.
I'm sure.
that.
Yeah.
I want to take a real break, but I don't.
Yeah, because I
wanna
was
take
like
the
Houston.
time.
I was like, oh yeah, no, it's not in Houston. It's Austin. Did you say you want to take a break?
I wanted to take a real break, but we don't have the time. It's
I don't give a
almost
shit.
11.
We're not.
Mackey's
we're
not here.
We're
Okay.
not here.
Take a real fucking break. I'll sit here and talk to the people, which is Bill. Hey, Bill. Don't worry, we're not doing no Disney-ary plus view-ary or anything.
No.
We're not. It's
November.
yeah, no Disney-November.
Chuck, make sure to tell the people where we will be this weekend.
Right. Hey, Bill, if you're in the Orlando, Florida area this weekend, the three of us on this here podcast are going to be at Free Play Florida, which is a hot jam of an event at the Caribe Royale Resort and Not Casino in Orlando, Florida, where they will have pinball machines and arcade games and consoles and booths and artists and people. And you can go to that because we will, in various forms, be there doing stuff. We're not there in an official capacity, but we have all gone to all of these things in the Southeast every time they happen. So if you ever want to meet us, that's the best way to do it, because we're not inviting you into our homes. That's creepy. But we will be in a public space with public people playing video games. We will probably have some stuff on hand if you want a business card or a button. Might have some of those handy to give away if you want one. That is all I've got to say about that. So, there will be no BMFcast Extra this weekend because there will be nobody here to record it. That will resume the following weekend after Thanksgiving. There should be an episode next week. We're going to record an episode for Thanksgiving week, and then after Thanksgiving we will have a BMFcast Extra. So don't worry, there will not be a interruption in programming. I don't know what we're going to watch, but I have to figure that out. That's my job tomorrow, is to plan out December's movies. Might watch all Christmas movies. Maybe not. Anyway. What else? What else? If you're a fan of me, I have a new show on YouTube called The Wheel of Terror. It's like 31 Days of Horror, except all year. So that's fun. There are 2 episodes. One is blocked by YouTube, and I can't quite figure out how to get it to post. It's real strange. It is a copyright nightmare, even though the film is 60 years old. But anyway, if you go to youtube.com/watercooler, you can see the first episode, which was just kind of a test episode, seeing how I could slap together something real quick and see if I could make the premise work. But if you like that, go there. Let's see what else. I don't know. I don't know what else. I'm talking about all the things. Let's see. I promoted our trip this weekend. People can come meet us there.
Right. Give it here and take out my shirt and get the balls off.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hey, ladies, get a load of this. Or fellas, get a load of this. Fucking gun show over here.
Like a fucking super soaker, baby.
Yes, Bill. If you were following me on the Instagram, you will see a lot of pictures of pinball machines. Don't worry about that. I take an obscene number of photos.
And then you take some obscene photos.
No, I don't.
But those don't go on Instagram.
No, you can't post those on Instagram. Those are private. Of my privates.
Those are going on Tumblr.
Oh, yes.
Old school. We're resurrecting Tumblr.
Yeah, Meat Tub will be back this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Tub full of meat. And by meat, I mean my dick.
I forget. Do they have
Dick.
like big comfy tubs at the Grand Caribe Royale Resort and Casino and Brothel?
As I recall, the shower was good and huge, so that
Okay.
tub must have been big. I did. You don't want to get into a tub in a hotel.
I think at the Caribe Royale Grand Parisian Resort and Hotel, I think I can trust
you
the
think
tub
that tub's
soak.
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has
Why?
been. What?
Yeah. What?
I'm just curious why.
I just every travel advisory I've ever seen says, "Hey, doesn't matter if it has a tub or not. Don't fucking get in it. Not for a soak." They don't clean very well.
Okay.
Plus, people go in there and shit in their tubs. And
Well, I'm
Do
going to have
they?
a soak in the tub.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no. They have a hot tub. I can hot tub soak.
That's true. Yeah, they do.
I'm going to bring my bathing suit, even though it's going to be cold as shit.
It's not. It's gonna be like 80.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Perfect.
Even at night?
Yeah, it's going to be 80.
80.
We have
No,
ordered-
Highs 80, lows.
I mean, I'm just saying it's probably going to be one of those things where it's like it's
55
80
at night.
80
Oh,
in the
perfect.
day and 50
Yeah.
at night.
Yeah, but it's a hot tub.
I'm a soak like
I know.
It's hot in a hot tub.
But where is that? You have to go somewhere to the hot tub, right?
it's next to the pool.
Yeah, you remember
Yeah,
where
yeah,
the
I
bar?
know, I know. I'm just saying, like, there
Yeah.
will be some outside where it's cold while getting from one place to the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
perfect.
All right.
Yeah.
And I will be curious as to which college
Which
is having
nurse
their reunion.
convention or-
Yeah.
No, it was some sort of like weird college business thing. There were all sorts of colleges
Right.
and all sorts of co-eds.
Yep.
Yeah, it was weird. I can't wait.
I feel like
I keep being reminded
I
of.
feel like calling them co-eds is even worse than just saying ladies. I mean,
I don't even know what co-eds means anymore. It just sounds like ladies who go to college.
it's from
Yeah.
old days when colleges were segregated by gender,
Right.
and so co-eds,
whenever they weren't co-eds.
well, co-eds, like colleges started going co-eds.
Right.
So I don't know why. I think it was just like derogatory slang of like.
Is it
there's-
derogatory?
I feel like it is.
I'm
like,
sorry, I
Well,
didn't.
no,
know.
I'm
I
just-
didn't know.
No,
Terribly sorry.
No, I'm just. I think I feel like it is. I feel like it was like, hey, like ladies are here now at this college that was formerly all men, and we're going to call them co-eds.
Okay, so there were a bunch of cute ladies.
Yes.
Yes. Ladies who go to college. They were there having drinks, and
I
some
don't-
of them
Didn't one of them-
charged $200 of drinks to my room.
I think
So that's
some.
why you shouldn't have given her your room key and your room number.
Well,
I think some drunk asshole just charged $200.
yeah,
to your
because
room.
here's how that works. You
You
tell
give
the
them your
bartender
room
a
number.
room number, and they go, okay. I don't know why everyone there doesn't
Oh
do
my
that.
God.
Because
Oh, I'm sure it happens
despite
a lot.
popular belief, the majority of people are honest.
I don't think that's true.
I think that is true.
I-
Otherwise, you would hear about it
Yeah,
way more.
I was gonna say. I think that's the thing. Is like,
I think it's more not wanting to get caught.
Yeah.
I don't
I
think it's
mean-
actual honesty,
okay, well, fine. A fear of
especially when it comes to
repercussions.
co-eds.
God damn it! I said I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Back off.
I'm gonna start calling men co-eds because, like, I'm gonna
They
go.
can
I'm
be.
gonna go with the FSU rules.
Hot
Like,
Okay,
co-eds?
fair
yeah,
enough.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going. I'm going with the FSU rules, and all those men, interloper men, are the co-eds.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
By
all
the way,
those
FSU
interloping
was
men
a,
like
was a all
Burt
ladies
Reynolds.
school once upon
Yeah.
a time. In case you didn't know that.
I want to get into Vassar.
Brown University.
Yeah.
perhaps.
Yeah. Brown. That's why you don't get in the tubs at the Creep Rail. Because the Brown convention.
Brown came out their Vassar.
Oh, you see, doctor, if that's the problem.
Yeah. No, that's where the Brown's supposed to come out. It's right out your Vassar. Yeah.
A Vassar is when that rare thing when you have a fistula between the two. And
No. Dear
What?
Lord, no.
Does the word fistula bother you?
Yes, that's awful. And then you pair it with Vassar.
I don't know what fistula means.
A fistula, it's basically a hole.
A hole?
Yeah.
Oh, so like your peer and your pooper are connected, interloped?
Okay, so there's
Yeah.
a thing that can happen when the anus and vagina can connect interior,
Huh.
and yeah, it's actually pretty bad news.
Oh, I can imagine. Yes, I mean it's sort
Chuck's
of
gonna throw up.
it's sort of the whole wipe front to back thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it. I'm
Yeah.
down. I'm hip. I'm hip to the ladies' problems of the world. I mean, I'm all about it right here.
Yeah.
I'm correcting the co-ed. I'm
Fistula
correct-
bump me.
No, I was about to, and then from some sort of code, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that at all.
Oh.
Man,
Okay, fun. I learned something.
lots of jokes tonight. I like it.
I learned something tonight. Oh, dear.
Yeah. Anyway, let's do a second half.
Right.
All right. Yeah.
Wait, BJ had one more thing.
No.
BJ had to sneeze. BJ sneezing.
Tis the sneezing for the season.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah?
Yep.
All right.
Don't bing fistula.
I won't. I won't. That will go down in history like Two Girls, One Cup. I've never seen it and never will.
I think that's fake anyway.
Okay, well, still not going to watch it. All right, and welcome back.
Hey, BMFcast.
Yeah.
BMFcast.
It's some second half time.
Nice. I got some stuff.
So I watched a pretty damn new movie.
Yeah?
Fresh to the home video market.
Ooh.
All right.
I watched Angel Has Fallen.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's the
the third in the
The
Fallen,
third in the Fallen franchise.
right.
the Fallen trilogy so far.
So far, yes. Okay. Let me think about how to talk about this one.
Refresh my memory.
Uh-huh.
You and I are both of the opinion that the first one was fucking nuts, right?
Yeah, Olympus Has Fallen is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty good.
Olympus Has Fallen is like the best Die Hard in since 3.
Okay. Where do you fall in the second one?
The second one's fun. It's just it's a pretty big step down.
Okay.
Like, I mean, if the first one is like the best Die Hard, the second one is like Die Hard 2.
The best Die Hard 2.
Well, I'm saying, I mean, it's like it's fine, but it's like it's the same but different, but not fun or different enough. It's got some pretty good action.
Yeah. He does tell a guy to go back to dumb fuckistan.
Sure. This one, all right. So, for a large swath of this movie, for some reason, I could not get The Dark Knight Rises out of my head, and I think that's because they are attempting to come to terms with the fact that like Gerard Butler is 50+ years old and kind of doughy, and like.
He's always been kind of doughy.
Well, he's getting more doughy.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like,
All right.
people were on the Gerard Butler is doughy thing long before he actually got doughy, and he's pretty doughy now.
I felt like he's been doughy in everything but 300.
Okay. Well, regardless, they're doing the like, oh, you can't keep doing this.
Okay.
Like you have shit is fucked up kind of thing. And that's honestly kind of like the first act of the movie. And then when the shit starts going down that goes down in this movie, it's pretty good, albeit real goofy at the same time. Like they just kind of hit this level of like, I'm not saying there was realism in Olympus Has Fallen, but it was visceral.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, this is just like, okay, I get it. You know,
Uh-huh.
but good on you for like still doing real explosions and shit, or if it's not real explosions, making them look damn good.
Okay.
But we've also hit the point in the series where, as I was alluding to earlier, there's a lot of bad green screen stuff and some very subpar CG, which, you know, I guess
The first two were like that.
you can expect it because, I mean,
You can't just blow up the White House.
well, these are, you know, still viable making money movies, but they're not making as much money as other things are. You know, like it's kind of
Fast and Furious money.
Well, it's kind of like the inverse, like Mission Impossible. You know, where it's like the first one is the best one in this case, and it's not getting better.
Right.
It's just
you just keep trying.
Yeah, you could just keep trying,
Yeah.
but it's still fun. Like it's never bad. I mean, that's the thing about this series so far. There's no point when I say like, "No, don't watch this. This is where you need to jump off." I'm sure other people who might be more discerning with their action movies may think that, you know, they either don't like any of them or only the first one was good or whatever. I'm still with this so far.
Okay. Because they're making like 4 more of them.
Are they?
They just announced like
Okay.
the Has Fallen universe is going to expand.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. It's like obviously you don't have some of the same people that were around before. Aaron Eckhart's out. I think Angela Bassett was in him. I think she died somewhere along the way.
Probably.
I think she did.
Yep.
But they keep like just plopping people in like in the background where it's like so Jada Pinkett's in this, or Jada Pinkett Smith if you prefer, is in this, and at one point like she kind of enters the scene and it's just kind of fast enough where it was like, was that Jada Pinkett? Like, I'm pretty sure that was, but why would she be? Oh, it is her. Why is she this character? Okay, we're going with this now.
All right.
And like Tim Blake Nelson's in this one now. It's like
Ooh.
they're just like they're popping some people in where it's like, oh hey, you're in this.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. It's good. It's just like I said. They are starting to get that like Bulgarian air to them, where it's like, yeah, this is just getting cheaper and cheaper. Mm-hmm. And I will say, I feel like this is the first time, and I know this is going to sound weird because I just used something very similar when I was talking about that Paul Rudd Netflix show.
Yeah.
By the end of this movie, very similar thing. Gerard Butler looked like everybody and nobody.
You didn't know what.
I'm saying like I don't know what keeps happening. Like there are certain people I'm just at a certain point where you look at him and you're like, you don't look right. Like
You're not a person.
Well, yeah, I mean,
what is this?
Where it's like, okay, yeah, I can see it's Gerard Butler, but at the same time, it's like that could literally be anyone. Like by the end of it, I don't know. I can't explain it, but now he's entered that pantheon for me of
right.
like I have almost Gerard Butler face blindness now.
Man,
I
this
know,
might be a greater problem.
it possibly could be. I don't know.
Do you recognize us? Is it because we're sitting in the same place? Oh no! Oh no!
Where am I?
That's not how Facebook. You know where you are. That's not how it works. Weirdo.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
It's good. It's pretty good.
All right.
It's still fun to watch.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean there's still cool shit that happens and some crazy action stuff. It's I don't know. I can't place what I would like my final thought about it when it was over. There's something off about the whole thing, and I honestly can't place it, and I honestly think that it's just because at this point I'm watching it, I'm like, why Gerard Butler? Like, I mean, I just give me somebody that can buy this more, especially if you're going to keep going,
Right.
You know, like I just was watching some of the stuff he's doing. I was like, well, that's John Wick-esque if like John Wick kind of sucked at what he did. You know, like I'm just saying, like it's like he's doing a motion and it's like it's supposed to be like a super cool like special forces kind of move, and it's like, yeah, but it still looks clumsy. And like when John Wick does it, it's like badass and fluid and all this, and it's like they're just missing that spark of like having a stunt like a prominent stuntman either direct or coordinate it,
Right.
And it's just I feel like there's still good things happening, but it's like you just don't have the John Wick guys behind you, like where it's a whole fucking team of stuntmen and a stuntman director like that get it.
He's a stuntman director.
He is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, apparently not on the same level. So
Understandable.
that's the other weird thing is like every single one of these movies has been directed by somebody different.
Yeah.
Like the first one is Antoine Fuqua,
Yep.
and then it was like couldn't tell you the second guy, but it's not him, and this is another guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of weird that.
Yeah.
I think that's the other thing that's kind of missing from this universe is like having this like vision for where it's going. This one's just like, I mean, there's a very obvious thing in this where it's like, well, Morgan Freeman was like, I'll be in it, but you have me for this many days.
Yeah.
Because
you can see that in the trailer.
I mean, yeah, they basically write him out of the movie for a large swath of it.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
and it's plausible to the plot of the movie, but it's just I don't know. It's just I feel like I feel like they just can't top the plots of the first one and maybe even the second one. Arguably, this one was like, all right, this is getting maybe a little goofy.
First one was too strong. That's his
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
It's just like they went for it, and it was just like you can't top it.
I don't know.
And
like,
so instead of topping it, they're just like, let's go to another place.
right. Yeah. I mean, I do like this one's not like a. Despite it being called Angel Has Fallen, it's not like they fuck up Los Angeles. That's not what it's about.
No,
he
right.
is the angel.
He's
He's the guardian
code
angel.
word,
That's
yeah.
he's the angel, and it's a whole like setup plot for him. That's the title of the movie.
Right.
And like I said, it's one of those things that, like it's mildly clever. It just doesn't feel clever enough for a good like terrorist plot type thing. You know, it feels like it just feels like the first one felt like, oh, if you just stuck Bruce Willis in here when he cared, this would be a Die Hard movie. Like, you know, I could see Bruce Willis somehow getting to this point in his career where it's like, you're Secret Service now, okay, you know, or you're just at the White House and shit goes down and you have to save everyone.
Yeah.
You know, very little rewrites would have to be done to the first one for you to buy it as a Die Hard movie.
Right.
This one, it's just like, yeah, I mean, I get it, but this is like this is now feeling like Die Hard ripoff movies, and you know, plot wise, this is closer to Under Siege. You know, it's like, yeah, but also no, you know, like that kind of plot. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But still fun.
Okay.
Anyway,
Cool.
you should watch it.
Okay.
Chuck, did you watch anything?
No, nothing worth talking about, I don't think.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go in on a couple things real quick
All right.
because Disney Plus, so, you know, it's hot right now.
Yeah.
It's so hot. I watched 2 Disney animated movies that I hadn't seen before.
First time watches.
First time watches.
Okay.
First one is Moana,
Okay. Starring The Rock.
starring The Rock and some other people. I have no idea who anybody else is in the movie.
Okay.
I mean, there's one semi-small character you might have recognized the voice.
Who dat?
Jermaine Clement, the Flight of the Conchords and other things.
Right.
He's
He is the crab.
yeah, the big crab guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I looked that up. It is extraordinarily formulaic in that, you know, in that Disney way. Like, the plot is fine. It does all the right things to tug out all the right strings, but it is kind of extremely predictable beat by beat. That is not to say that I don't like it, because I really do like it, and the main reason I like it is because that movie is beautiful. The water effects in Moana are crazy good. A lot of the other animation is fine, but and since it takes place, you know, mainly in or near the water, you get to see a lot of it, and holy shit, like, I feel about that water kind of the same way I felt when I saw The Abyss for the first time. I was like, fuck, how did they do that? Like, that is incredible.
Once a generation, water will look amazing.
Kinda.
I know.
And this is, like, I don't know if I've seen another super recent Disney movie. Off the top of my head, I can't really think of one, but that animation is so good. Like,
So no Frozen, no Tangled, no Wreck-It Ralph, no Zootopia.
I've
no.
seen Wreck-It Ralph, but
That's kind of a little different because it's
yeah,
computer-generated stuff.
yeah, it's super busy, so it's hard to focus on anything. But they do a really good job of showing the fuck off in Moana, and man, it's gorgeous. The songs are pretty good. The one that Jermaine Clement does,
I fucking love that song. It's so good.
Pam hates it. I don't know why. I think it's delightful. Like,
Yeah.
and that also is gorgeous. Like, when they go into the mirror ball scene, I loved it. It felt very Bowie and very, you know, extravagant. It looked amazing. I really loved it. And the You're Welcome song, which I've heard before, it's been like popping up in my head pretty frequently since I saw it Saturday. It's good. Yeah, it's pretty damn good. Like, again, like I said, the plot isn't anything to write home about, but it's good to see. It's good to see Pacific Islanders represented, and it's good to see strong female character doing her thing. So, man, that sounded way more.
That sounded
flippant.
condescending.
Yeah,
Why don't you
yeah.
just call her co-ed?
Can't. That was a break.
I don't
Conversation.
care.
All right. It's gonna mean nothing to anybody listening now.
I don't care.
Chuck's gonna cut it in, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, that sounded way more flippant than I intended it to. But yeah, good to see strong female characters. So while I was on strong female Disney characters, we watched Brave as well.
Okay.
And
That's one I've never seen. I'm curious. Did you like it?
I liked it, but again, it's practically the same plot as Moana.
It's what they do.
Yeah. Also, really really outstanding animation. The comedy is good. The Scottish accents are hilarious. Or Irish. I don't know if they're Irish or Scottish. I'm a bad human. They're Scottish. Yeah.
Scottish, yeah.
The accents are hilarious. It's animated really, really well.
I mean, the main character actually is Scottish. I don't know about the rest of the cast. I
Yeah.
assume Billy Connolly's in there somewhere, right?
Probably.
Yeah, most likely.
I have no idea.
Kelly McDonald is what's her face?
Yeah, I have no idea who any of the actors were in that
Okay.
at all. But yeah, beautiful movie, well animated. It's got some really good jokes, but formulaic as hell. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like that's fine. But I wasn't surprised by anything, and I don't have to be to really enjoy a movie, but yeah, Brave, it's pretty good. You should probably if you haven't watched it before and you like Disney movies, then why haven't you watched it before? But
Oh, because it's a Pixar movie. No, I just
yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
Is Moana's not Pixar, right?
No.
Yeah.
Basically, the paradigm shifted for the most part. Like Pixar movies now are the sequels and not very good, and most Disney movies
The
are
Disney originals are.
yeah.
Yeah.
Disney. It's like now actual Disney movies are pretty much the better ones in my opinion.
Gotcha.
That's because whoever was running Pixar came over to Disney Animation, and
Gotcha.
and from Tangled on basically.
I gotcha.
That's why it's like a renaissance, I think, of good proper Disney movies.
Gotcha.
Which, by the way, watch Tangled. More female.
Yeah, I will.
Tangled's
I will.
really good. Like I said, Tangled is shockingly good.
I've heard really good things about it. Green Capped Drink always goes on about like anytime Tangled comes up, he goes on about how much he loves it.
I mean, honestly, now they're starting to sequelize their new shit, but like even before the sequel, like Frozen is not bad. Frozen is just that thing where it's like
You've heard Let It Go a billion
well,
times.
it's the Miami connection of them, where it's like, guys, this isn't even the best one. Like, why are you going on about this? It's fine. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's like Miami Connection. It's like there's good stuff there, but it, like Tangled and Big Hero 6, and even the first Wreck-It Ralph. I think those are better movies. Like they're more enjoyable to me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, Disney Plus is pretty good now that it's survived the first couple days of it being live. I was watching on Saturday night, and everything came through in great quality. I watched a couple old shorts, like I watched the Goofy Olympics short, which I hadn't seen in a dozen years at least. I think it's so dumb and hilarious. I love it. I also watched some weird Mickey Mouse short, and that actually looked really good. The quality of the transfer, however they did it, looks really good. Everything seems to run really well, and everything I've watched so far has been quite high quality. I did what's currently my How Good Does This TV Look test, which is watching the intro from Guardians of the Galaxy, because it is 111 billion colors.
The
And
sequel or the first one?
2, yeah.
Yeah, 2.
So, yeah.
That's right.
Sorry, Guardians 2.
It's a good call.
Yeah. And I don't have a 4K TV, but it looked dynamite. Everything looked really good. I was running it on the Xbox because on my PC it does the same thing with my TV that like Netflix does, which is
Hitch.
yeah, it doesn't hitch because I fixed the hitching issue finally, and now I have a new issue, which is it's so weird. I think I don't know. I can't figure it out, but when you're trying to like scroll through stuff, it just like I think it's trying to change the
You probably need to check your refresh rate.
yeah, it might be
Because I feel like it might be set to something weird, like not quite 60, or it might be on like 75 or something. Because it should be on 60. I'm pretty sure your TV's going to be 60 hertz. So
yeah. But it's almost like it's changing something, which means the TV is readjusting to whatever it's changing to, so it turns or the screen goes black and then comes back up again, and then will do that a billion times and drive me crazy when I'm trying to pick something out.
there may be even some setting that has like a variable refresh rate. You might want to check that too, like lock it in at one thing, 60.
Yeah, I may do that.
Anyway, here's Tech Corner.
Yeah.
The BMFcast here.
But so I watched it on the Xbox One, and even though, the Xbox, it's better than the PlayStation, but the Xbox One isn't like the world's greatest for downloadifying things. It ran perfectly on the Xbox One. It was nice.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like everyone was talking about the only technical problems I saw were that like on day one, like lists weren't populating properly. Like you'd go into like a TV show and it would just be like, yeah, we have 4 episodes of this season, and it's like, no, I thought you were supposed to have, and you back out and go back in. It's like, no, we have 5 seasons of that show. It's like, okay, that was weird.
Yeah.
But that was like playback. I had zero. I've had 0 problems from day one.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know people were having problems with like logging in and
Yeah.
actually getting movies to play.
I mean, I jumped in and was watching Mandalorian like in day.
Fuck! I watched The Mandalorian too.
Fuck,
I forgot to talk about
Well,
that.
I was, like day one, I watched that like within hours of them launching the service, and I like once I got the service to launch and get to it so I could browse to it, it played without a problem. So that's the weird thing is like I've never had even like the slightest playback problem. Not to say other people aren't, but
Right. The Mandalorian is really good. I am excited to watch more of that show.
Yeah. I was fairly sold on episode 1, and by episode 2, I was like, yeah, I'm in. Just give me this whole show right now.
Yeah. I was kind of disappointed that it wasn't ready to binge.
I feel like I've gone back and forth on this even in my own head and talking to people. There's a lot of reasons why I think this might be a good thing, because I think it's getting people. I understand from a business standpoint, it's like it's going to make people subscribe for longer. But in truth, if like they're going to give you the free month or whatever, people are going to wait until the end of December when this is all released, take their free week, and watch it all in one go.
Yeah.
But that's going to be a lot of people. But I think it keeps people talking about it longer, and I think it's attempting to bring back the water cooler thing. It's trying to be that Game of Thrones,
water
like
cooler.
like let's this is the new episode's out. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
It also, like, when you can binge a show, you tend to... Mackie talks about this a lot, I feel. Like, if you can binge a show, you just watch it all and forget anything but the highest highs. So having a week in between to, watch somebody's reaction video or read a thing about it or talk to your friends about the episode that you just watched kind of reinforces everything that you saw in there.
People say that. I don't know if that's true. Like, I mean, I just go back to like the last show I probably watched almost exclusively, completely episodically as it came out week to week was probably Lost. I'm trying to think, like, that's probably the last one where it was like through the whole thing. I don't think I really ever like binged any. I might have like let 2 episodes pile up on the DVR and watched them both, but I was always like pretty much a week to week wait. And
Well, Game of Thrones. I mean,
yeah, all right, yeah. I guess I did that mostly with Game of Thrones.
yeah.
Was watch it week to week.
I'm of two minds also. I kind of want it all at once. Give it to me. I need it. Let me consume it. But the thing that I don't like is that when something drops all at once, what happens is that people with nothing but free time on their hands binge it all at once. And then that becomes the discussion online. The discussion is, let's talk about the entirety of this show. And you have to just distance yourself from all conversation about it because you haven't started it yet, or you're going at a normal pace, or you've watched 3 episodes, and you can't be. The discussion online is we're only talking about the entire show right now, start to finish. That's it. We can't just say, okay, episode 3 has happened, and let's talk about this weird thing that happened. Like, if Watchmen had been something that all dropped at once, that show would not be as good as it is, because there is so much weird, bizarre shit on that show. You would just gloss over half of it right away because you would get something in the next episode. So, for selfish reasons, give it all to me at once. For logical reasons, I am totally okay with these things dropping one at a time, because there are now so many shows, and I don't have time to watch them all.
Yeah.
I just don't.
I don't think I finished my thought. With Lost, it's like, I can't tell you much about that show.
Well, that's just Lost.
Well, I just mean, like, I don't think I had any different experience of, like, at this point right now, I can only tell you the high points. I can only tell you, like, major things that happen. I don't remember what happened day-to-day bullshit, week-to-week, like.
Oh, I've forgotten a lot about
that's. Well,
Lost.
I mean, that's maybe a bad example for a show, but I mean, I'm even thinking about Game of Thrones. Like, I don't know that I retained any more episode-specific details than I would if I'd watched it all at once. Especially when we're going these, like, big-budget, short-run shows, like Mandalorian, like, 8 episodes. I can watch all that and probably remember it, especially with them being about a half an hour each.
Yeah.
That's a little more than 4 hours of content. I think I can remember that. That's just a long movie.
Yeah.
A real long movie.
Right.
But, yeah.
That's The Irishman long.
Yeah. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's different when, like, Lost was back in, like, the 23 episodes per season era, and it's like,
Yes.
until
Can't
the
binge
end.
that.
Then until the end when it was like, oh, well, short seasons, more of them,
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. I think everybody wants everything right now, but, like, I think for the discussion and the longevity of the show, especially with a big tentpole, like, I mean, to be fair, this is, besides some very strange side encounters, this is the first, like, proper Star Wars TV show ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not,
Right.
besides, like, the Ewoks thing and, some other dumb
This
cartoons.
is the first proper
Yeah,
Star Wars
that's
show.
what I'm saying. This
Live action,
Yeah.
like, proper series.
And they have
Right.
talked about this forever.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, it's like this is a big major thing in television, whether or not people want to acknowledge that or not. This is a big deal, and I feel like in the case of this specifically, yes, it's a good idea that they stagger it out. And fuck you, you don't have that long to wait. Like, I mean, it's like one per week for know, and they dropped. I mean, the first 2 were like within days of each other, and then wait a week after.
Right.
So it's like, just calm your tits.
I can handle it with Great British Bake Off. I can handle it with this.
Right.
I mean, I think this is a strange compliment, but Apple TV almost did the best of both, which was they dropped 3 at the start, and now it's week to week. So it's like you can binge watch and decide, like,
You can get into
some shows they drop the whole thing.
oh, really?
Yeah, like Dickinson and stuff like that.
Did they?
Yeah, they're like,
Okay.
it was only like their big ones, morning show C and For All Mankind,
Okay.
kind of where they were like,
Appointment TV. It'll drop on Friday. That's a Friday night show. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Other Disney stuff while we're talking about, we're fucking shilling this giant company's thing, but it's what we're watching.
It's the
new.
thing that's
Yeah.
going on, so we're discussing it. So
I was browsing around. I feel like they have a fairly substantial 4K library for. It feels like there's a number of things on there that they haven't even done 4K disc releases
Yes.
for.
Yes.
So I just popped in and was like, at first I was just browsing around and doing the same kind of thing where it's like, let me check the quality on this, and I started to do that because I bumped around. I bounced around. I was like, all right, here's a live action movie. Here's a Marvel movie. Here's this kind. Here's a let's watch the opening scene of The Lion King, the original one. And then I was like, oh, let me try a Pixar movie. I just picked WALL-E. I was like, I haven't seen WALL-E in a while, and I seem to remember that having a pretty cool intro. With the the desolated Earth and all that stuff.
Right.
I ended up watching the whole fucking thing because WALL-E. I love WALL-E.
Yep.
But yeah, the other thing. So this was a weird one for me because this popped up and I was like, ooh, like this is a movie that people forget about, and I honestly could have sworn that I watched this movie a lot growing up. Now I don't think I've ever seen it once in my life.
Okay.
The Black Cauldron.
Yeah.
Oh,
That-
okay.
That
Yeah.
Yeah,
popped
that-
up in HD, and I was like,
yeah.
that's always been a weird Disney movie that they're like, you know.
Mid 80s, they weren't really doing much anymore.
Well, it's dark as shit. It's
Yeah.
like it's a real strange thing for a Disney movie.
Yeah.
And I honestly think I was confusing having seen bits of Sword in the
Sword in
Stone,
the Stone, yeah.
and played the Sierra game
Right.
for the Black Cauldron back in the day.
Yeah.
And I was just mixing things up in my head because I started that and I was like, I know I've seen parts of it, and I don't know how or where or if it popped up on like Disney Channel, but like I remember the intro bits with the kid and the pig and like, you know, all that stuff, and like this pig sticking his head in the bowl and like having visions. And then like shortly after I was like, I don't fucking remember any of this. Like John Hurt showed up as the bad guy and stuff, and I was like, I've never seen this in my life, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a weird one where I started watching it and it was like, man, what a bizarre thing this was.
Yeah. They did.
Disney's had weird like things where like they've almost, I wouldn't say gone out of business because they're not going to fucking ever go out of business with their parks and stuff. But I mean, there have been weird, like I would like to see, I'm sure someone is like cares more about Disney shit than I do, has looked at like where their animation almost like went, fuck it, we give up.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like there's been several points throughout history where it's like they needed like hits bad, and it was like they were just sucking wind for a period of years.
Well, like here's one thing related to that. When the Disney Plus Twitter feed was tweeting out every goddamn thing they were about to release, it was easy to notice that for the year 1984, Disney didn't release a goddamn thing.
Like not even live action.
No. And that's weird.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
Yeah. That's real weird.
So, yeah, there were some dark times for Disney, and that like from 80 to 85, they were trying some dark shit, like the Black Cauldron, Something Wicked This Way Comes. I mean, they were doing some stuff where it's the black hole. These are things that are just like, hey kids, you want to get fucked up? Like, you want to watch a Disney movie and get fucked up? Well, Disney's got you.
Yeah.
Something happened between 80 and 85 where it was just like, man, fuck everything. We're Disney. We're here to fuck you up, kids.
But I mean, I still remember like it happened in the 70s as well. Like
Little bit.
because I mean, like I have extreme fond nostalgia for the Rescuers. Mm-hmm. It must have done well enough that they decided to make a sequel a long ass fucking time later.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I just feel like there was like a period there where it was like they were just sucking like the Aristocats and things like that. I think people like were just like, I don't give a shit. Like, you know, like I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying anything against the movie. I just feel like I don't know if people like it's periodically
Oliver
where, like,
and Company.
well, yeah, I feel like there's periods of time where it's like people like see the matrix of what we were talking about, like the Disney formula of a movie, and it's like, fuck it, why I've seen one, I don't need to see this one too.
Yeah.
And no kids are not going to go fucking see that again. You know, it's like I'll just watch this other movie that you've seen before. Not back then because you didn't have videos, but you know, like I feel like they just change up their formula periodically, and then people start going and seeing their movies again, or I don't know. It's just strange. Like there's these weird lulls in the Disney history where it's like, yeah, man, nobody fucking remembers that movie.
Yeah.
Which is the weird, creepy Alice in Wonderland movie?
The one with Johnny Depp is really fucking
No,
creepy.
not that one. Not that one. The one from. It was on all of the Disney.
Are you thinking of Return to Oz?
Return to Oz that's definitely in that Disney like fuck you kids.
Yeah.
Here's some nightmares.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking.
I mean, you know, they did the classic Alice in Wonderland cartoon, which is still kind of trippy, but
Right.
not, you know, still very Disney-fied.
Yep.
And then I don't recall them ever doing anything from Disney until the weird live-action one.
Yeah. Not that I know of. The porno one.
No, I'm just gonna. I guess it wasn't a Disney. I'm gonna have to look and see if I can find it.
Okay.
Maybe I might be confusing it with something else. I'll have to go dig out the Robin Hood VHS and see the coming attractions or now on home video part.
Okay.
But
Have you ever seen Return to Oz?
probably not.
Movie's fucking
It's fucked up.
Yeah, they were like, flying monkeys gave a whole generation of kids nightmares. What if we one up that and then some?
Yeah.
These fucking wheeled creature things. God. Damn
Oh,
it.
yeah. Okay, I have not seen Return to Oz, but No, wait, maybe I have.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Oh man, it's a roller coaster.
Well, it's on Disney Plus, I think. So
It is.
Oh, the thing with the mustache, yes.
Yeah.
I may be getting it confused with that.
yeah. Well, there's also some weird shit in the Wiz too. So like between
Yeah, I
those
haven't
two,
seen The Wiz.
I'm saying between those two, you can
Yeah.
put some weird ass Wizard of Oz things together.
Yep.
I want to put some weird-ass Wizard of Oz things together.
Yeah. Anyway, like I said, I went browsing around because I was trying to see what the quality was like throughout various ages of film, and it's pretty neat.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, it's weird to me because part of me is like, I think we were having this discussion where I kind of want them to just empty the fucking Disney vault onto it, and if
Yes.
they have to put disclaimers up in front of things, do.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, it's the fucking broken record of the internet, but like at some point you just have to be like, yeah, okay, Song of the South exists. Here it is. We have a fucking theme park ride built around it, but also don't mind that it actually exists. It's
Yeah.
just, it's a weird fucking thing. And it's like, I've seen it. I saw it in the theater when it had one of the re-releases. Like,
I saw it
yeah,
early 80s
Yeah.
when they
So, I mean, it's like-
re-released it.
it's one of those things where it's like, it's got super catchy songs. And honestly, like in the grand scheme of like all of the dated, insensitive animation and other things that have come along, Song of the South's really not that fucking bad compared to a lot of them. Like, all right, I will say, like, the Song of the South's heart's in the right place. It's at never at any point is it trying to be offensive to be offensive. Like the propaganda wartime things were like, hey, fuck you guys. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
like that was like intentionally made to like, be a fuck you to
Yeah.
the people we didn't like at the time. That its heart was in the right place. Racially insensitive as it may be at times, it's like those are the kind of things. Like if they were,
I
if
think
they were,
there's-
you know what I'm saying? Like if they were being insensitive, on purpose,
Right.
or if it was just woeful ignorance, like it's to me there's a difference. And
Well, I mean, they are putting disclaimers on things
Oh,
like,
yeah,
like
absolutely.
Dumbo and stuff
Sure.
where it's like, look,
yeah.
cultural depictions of the time are included in this. And
I saw that tag on a documentary I was going to
Yeah.
watch on there too, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
it's like, what on earth?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a way to do it. I think you can present it in a way of just like this is a historical document
right,
of a time that we no longer live in. This is not presented in a way to make anyone feel bad or offended. It's
Yeah.
just a thing.
and you want to know the true secret of how you fix this, and this is how you make everyone happy, because you if you're going to empty, as I say, the Disney vault and just put it all out there, make a setting, make an account wide setting that
Sure.
says, don't show me anything that's been flagged with this.
Yeah.
Simple, done.
Yeah, I mean they've already tagged it, so
Yeah, I mean it's already got that tag, so just make it hide it. I don't want my kids accidentally pushing play on this,
right.
and then just put it all out there.
I think they will do that. They've been out there talking about features that they want to add to the
Sure.
service, and this was just like, get it out there. Let's
No,
do
absolutely.
this.
Yeah.
So I have to think they are smart enough to where they are going to add a feature set to this thing where it is robust in a way like that. So, but again, I could also see them just going, you know what? No, we're not putting that out, and whatever, it's theirs to not put out. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Like I said, it's just the Splash Mountain thing has always been the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like that attraction ride was built long after the road went
yeah,
to Song of the South, and
Yeah.
it was like that was built in like the late '80s, '90s, or early '90s. I mean, like that was a semi-late addition to Disney World.
Yes.
Like
yeah, like it was after Space Mountain.
yeah.
But it's
Oh,
just
long after. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
but it was like, yeah.
it's just part of is how much of Song of the South is in.
It's all the Brer Rabbit, Briar Patch stuff. Like that's the whole fucking theme of that thing.
Yeah,
Like you're going like that's the splash is like dive into the Briar Patch.
yeah. Like I remember going there in the '90s, going like, "Oh wow, that's what this is, huh?"
Yeah. And it's fucking zippity doo all the way up in the line.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
that's what's so weird to me is like you have an incredibly iconic song from a movie you want to pretend doesn't exist.
Right.
It's like if the fucking B. Arthur song from the holiday special was actually good, people are like, I know this song. Where do I know this from? I don't know. This doesn't exist. That's. I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Look.
It's along that line. It's like we're going to continue to pretend like this never existed.
If you want Zippity Doodah, just watch Fletch Lives.
Okay.
Well,
that's a weird. That's a weird recommendation because most of the world would say don't watch Fletch Lives.
I love Fletch Lives. I don't know why they shit on that movie.
Okay.
They.
The world.
Film Twitter.
The world.
So
Go on.
weird thing about Zippity Doodah.
Uh-huh.
And I've been sitting here doing research because I know that I had an Uncle Remus something on VHS when I
Oh
was a
yeah,
kid.
I had a book. I had.
But I knew
merchandise.
it wasn't Song of the South.
Mhm.
And it's Disney sing-along songs, Zippity Doodah.
Yeah.
Several of the covers directly reference Song of the South, and they were released in the 90s. So they were still acknowledging this thing in major ways up until the 90s.
I do believe it got a DVD release at some point in time. No?
No.
It did never go on one of
Japanese
those...
Laserdisc is as far as it got.
Oh, so you know more. I thought it actually got one of those like silver tin, like, look, we know this is deep in the archives shit. Because a lot of that like wartime shit got put out on DVD
Yes.
in those silver bin
It
ones.
did with context and,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. No, this never got that
Okay.
kind of. Yeah.
I have seen in my 5 minutes of research some things purporting to be DVD copies of
Nah.
Song of the South, but I don't believe that they are actually.
Yeah.
See, I think what happened was that movie got a re-release theatrically in the early 80s, and then they put it in the vault. And while it was in the vault, then they made the decision to never release it out of the vault. But that would have been like 89, 90 by that time, where it would have made a resurgence. And so they were just like, you know what, let's just we'll use things from it for a little bit longer, and then that's it. We're done.
Yeah. People really like Zippity Doodah. I know I have a VHS with that on it somewhere. I got to raid my dad's house and sell it on eBay for $1,000.
Well, first transfer it to DVD, and then make 100 copies, and then you can retire.
Yeah. And what you need to do is put Sinbad on the cover.
Right. Shazam of the South.
Dressing like Nelson Mandela with a Berenstein Bear.
Kazam of the South.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Shazam of the South. Because Kazam is a real thing.
Right. I said it the right way first, and I thought I was wrong.
Yeah.
See? Oh, Etsy. Somebody on Etsy is making Song of the South
Yeah.
DVDs, I guess.
I was going to say, there's a billion bootleg copies of
Sure.
it out there. It's not suppressed or hidden in any sort
No.
of way. I'm just saying, like...
You probably can't. I'm pretty sure eBay will flag it immediately if you try to list one. I think their searches have gotten to that point.
Yeah,
but
like I'm not advocating like it's some important thing that this needs to be out there. I just, like I said, I feel like at a certain point they just need to be like... I feel that Warner Brothers has handled this far better than Disney has ever because...
their Looney Tunes stuff.
Well, yeah, there's a shitload more offensive Looney Tunes things than there ever was
Oh, yeah.
Disney things because, like, there was non-wartime things where it's just like, ooh, you know, like
Yep.
a lot more of that. Like,
Yep.
Looney Tunes went all fucking in on the wartime based ones too,
Yeah.
but like, they've like, I feel like it's better to like own up and like display it as part of history and with like a we're sorry message than it is to just be like,
Yeah.
like, you know, ostrich head in the sand kind of thing. Like that's
Sure.
that to me is really stupid because it's like, it's not hidden and just, you know, like I said, it's the Star Wars holiday special principle. It's like everyone fucking knows it exists. You can't, you know, gaslight an entire fucking nation that watched it on TV on CBS in 1978. Like you can't fucking say it didn't exist because
Yeah.
there's a whole fuckload of people that watched that.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's like it's better to just be like, yeah, we may have fucked up back then, but here it is, and judge for yourself.
Yeah, at the very least, put it out there. I wouldn't put it out there for sale at this point, but
Sure.
put it on a service that people are going to have anyway,
Right.
and then say, look, let's have a conversation about this.
Yeah.
Let's publicly decide where we should land on this. You know, is it a historical document or is it something so offensive that no one should see it?
Yeah.
I feel like so much time has gone by that it's just become, and I could be wrong. It seems like it's just been vilified. It's just like,
yeah.
good Lord, Song of the South, hell no. And it's like, yeah, but when I was a kid, I thought that was magical. It just seemed like it was colorful and the songs were great. That's all I remember. That's the last time I saw it. It was when I was a little kid. So
Yeah, I think we're probably coming at it from the weirdest perspective because it's like, oh, I mean, except for people that maybe saw it when it was even more newer
Right.
and haven't seen it since. But yeah,
Right.
we just have this like, yeah, I saw this thing, like it was catchy and colorful and
Yeah.
we like the songs and you know.
I mean, I don't want to see it to be edgy or to be
No.
like, yeah, fuck you. I got the right to see this. I just like let me just see it as an adult because my opinion on things has changed a lot since I was a kid. There are things I saw when I was a kid where I was like, that's great, and I'm like, whoa, that's bad.
Yeah.
I would just like to know. I would just like to have a definitive answer in my head.
Yep.
But if it never shows up, I'm okay with that too. There's so much shit on Disney Plus, I'll never
sure.
watch it all anyway.
Yeah. Like I said, I just somewhere down the line, I like to see them make a archive vault,
Sure.
you know, thing as part of this. Like,
Make a series with
Yeah, do it with
Like,
interviews and
interviews and everything. Like, contextualize it.
Yeah,
Get some fucking smart people to talk about it and dissect it.
yeah,
There are plenty of smart people out there.
sure.
Um,
If it's bad, have like scholarly people on to say, look, here's
Barack
why.
Obama tells you about Song of the South.
Yeah.
I would watch that. I'd just put that on a fucking loop.
yeah. I mean, I would absolutely watch a thing that I see. That's a good point. I feel like that's potentially their best way to handle it is do that. Like have people discuss
Yeah.
what it is they find offensive and have like a roundtable discussion. I don't think it should be like one of those like documentary where it's like we caught so and so at Cornell University like in a room by themselves. Make it a fucking like you're Disney. Bring in a fucking roundtable discussion. That's the way to handle it.
Yep.
And it's a extra feature on there, and it's like with a disclaimer in the beginning, all that, and then you can have a roundtable discussion about the and not do that for everything. Obviously, most of them just be a disclaimer, but that's a feature length movie. It's got a number in the overall release of Disney movies because there are people that strangely count them like that. Like this is Disney movie number 7. You know,
Right.
like you know I'm missing that spot in on my shelf. Then you know.
And was that the first Disney attempt at live action and animation?
No, I think Fantasia. Well,
No.
Fantasia did the.
Jesus, 1946. That was-
Yeah.
Fantasia was 39 though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but what's live action in Fantasia?
The orchestra stuff that it then turns into animation, like the Leopold Strahowski.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, what the fuck's wrong with my mouth?
Jens
Like-
is going to be so mad at you.
Yeah, but no, like he comes out like as a person, and I want to say like
Yeah.
that may just be colors and shit. Like I don't know if it goes into full blown animation with them.
I'm talking about like actual
I
like
know, I know.
like
The-
Pete's
the-
Dragon style
yes,
like
yes.
I'm interacting with this Disney animation.
Right. Yeah. The Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Probably the first like
Okay.
full blown attempt. Yes.
So
Because what year did you say it was? 39.
46.
46 for Song of the South. Yeah. So long before like Bedknobs and Broomsticks. And
Oh, yeah.
that stuff.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and Mary,
Mary
Poppins.
Yeah. Okay.
Fantasia.
Fantasia.
Is there live action mixed with the animation in that? I mean, I know there is live action and animation. I
Yeah.
just don't know if they like interact. I mean, I feel like there's like colorful shit happening in the part where they're showing you the orchestra, but it's not like animated. It's more like actual stage lights.
Yeah. I don't know.
I know they did it in Fantasia 2000.
Oh, yes.
But yeah.
Yes. So, anyway.
Anyway, we've talked about Disney for way too fucking long, probably.
20s and 30s Max Fleischer cartoons with Coco the Clown. Had a boxing match with a live kitten.
All right.
Cool. So,
Yep.
let's wrap this up.
Okay.
BJ,
Yes.
how do people get in touch with us?
Use the internet.
Gorge, go on down to the website.
Yup.
Sellouts. What's the website?
That's good. That's a good Donald
Thanks.
Duck.
There's
Wow.
a few things I could do. I don't do that one correctly.
The only good Donald Duck I do is not wearing pants.
I call it Donald Dick.
Shirt cocking it, Donald Ducking.
Shirt cocking it, yeah.
Anyway, so email us, bmf@bmfcast.com. Give us a call on the Garfield hotline, 910-5JOCKS-BMF or 910-556-9263. Go to the website, which is bmfcast.com, And check all the buttons on the right-hand side. That'll take you to our socials and our Discord, Twitter, YouTube, etc., etc. Check us out on Patreon, where we have 1,000,000 hours of bonus content for low prices monthly. That's about it.
You're right. Yeah. All right. Let's
Yeah,
let's
I
get
mean,
out of here, shall we?
Mhm.
I'm Harlow.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And for Mackie, this is BMFcast out. Huh? You're a douchebag. Huh? Face down, ass up. That's the way I like to yuck. You never heard that one before?
Not like that.
It's my favorite.
My favorite.
That's the way I like to yuck.
Okay.
Yeah. Alice Comedies, I think, was maybe the first Disney effort.
Yeah.
That's way early.
Yeah, it is. I know a little bit too much about Disney shit.
1923. Good God Almighty.
Mm-hmm.